Hello, everyone, and this is Black Men Being Brutally Honest, and of course, I'm Kev. And wow, all I can say about this space is wow. Um, I always come to a broadcast with the belief that black people can work together, but you know what? Due to personal observation, sometimes we can't. We just can't. We let our egos and our emotions, yes, emotions, we use that as a bad word. Oh, they're getting emotional. You're getting emotional. Everybody acts like you're supposed to be an emotional stiff, as if you are supposed to have no kind of reaction to anything that life throws at you, like you're a fucking robot. See, when people treat you like that, then things become chaotic. And that's what we have, all over the motherfucking place, A, a historic clashing of the viewpoints. And that's just a growing pain when it comes to this space, this big, pretty picture that is centered around two words. And before I say those two words, let me say these few words like here, right here. Long live the habitual line steppers. What's going on? Hybrid catastrophic impact X83rd power. What it do, brother? Hope everyone is having a wonderful Sunday. Thank you. Judge Dre is down there too. Raining woman. No, we can't work together. Why is that, raining woman? Don't you think that is a choice that we're making? Well, we could make the other choice, right? Why is that? I mean, I don't expect you to have the answer for that personally. That was kind of rhetorical, but oh man, I mean, I was just saying, like, let's talk about us brothers for a second. I'm not finna hop a bandwagon or anything tonight. I'm not gonna sit up here and say, "Oh, you brothers are dusty," and said YouTuber that has a horrible potty mouth is right. Not gonna say that. Not gonna say that. For what? So many people have done it and made it work. That saying that us black men are dusties and failures. You know. But let me ask you y'all a question. What is the look of success for a black man? And people as of late have been arguing over the whole suit and tie thing. you know, everybody's like, oh my god, just because he wears a suit and tie or he wears a Christmas sweater every December, does not mean that he's a good guy or he's a successful guy or that's a model citizen or whatever. Those are what we like to call the educated lames. I said something earlier in a chat today, and I know I come to these broadcasts. I said something earlier in the chat today. I said that the two dynamics that are so stupid to use for black men, and these are the two that we love to throw around this space quite often because you know what? We can't even see being a black man as being good either. And I'm not necessarily talking to the females. I kind of expect your little reactions by now. There are so motherfucking many of them. I'm talking to these dudes. The two archetypes that are always thrown around to describe us black men are educated lame and pookie, and neither one of them are good. Neither one of them. Educated lame. So basically what you're telling me is lame to have something inside your fucking brain. I do understand and get where you guys are coming from when you say educated lame. You're lame and that think that you deserve a life because you studied and worked hard. You deserve submission from women because it's always about submission and sexual gratification and validation from other people. That's what a lot of this shit about. In fact, I think this is what 95% of it is about. It's about women. They aren't the problem. I mean, shit. I mean, they're not a problem unless we create that problem as men, and that's what it's about. All this shit starting over. You know who is fucking who and whenever and whatever and under what circumstance and how much of a big dog you look like doing it. The educated lame. That's dumb because that makes me believe that you looking at smart motherfuckers like they're stupid, which is so fucking ass backwards. I'm gonna use some cuss words because I don't like that shit. I mean, educated lames can't get away from criticism no matter what. Same thing kind of with the Pookies because that's the other archetype they default to. They're always choosing Pookie. I get tired of hearing dudes say that shit too now. They're always choosing Pookie. I mean, sure, but I mean, it doesn't always have to be the subject matter. I mean, I just so happen to believe, and no matter how many times that these guys bring up, they're always choosing Pookie. That Pookie comes at the quote unquote educated lame a lot more than the educated lame goes at Pookie. That's just me and probably my little personal biases, but why are we using those two archetypes? There's a lot of dynamics outside of that so-called educated lame and the so-called Pookie. Now the Pookie is looked at as the failure, but we find a lot of our people trying to defend Pookie. A lot of people defend Pookie like they defend all these little negative archetypes in our community is as out of shame and embarrassment. If somebody's talking about Pookie, then it'll introduce stereotypes to other groups and cause them to treat us a certain way. Personally, I don't give a shit about that. I feel like other groups are going to have their minds made up. But what doesn't help is that when we take the embarrassment and try to make it into something else, like it's a bad thing to discuss it amongst ourselves. Now, I do agree you should not look down on anyone. For real, like I'm one of those people. I don't believe that you should look down on anyone based on their level of income as long as they're a good person. Some people will beg to differ. I mean, if you are that quote unquote Pookie archetype, or you're viewed as a Pookie, as long as you are a cool person, I don't see what, the discrepancy is about. That's just me, though. I'm not a real judgy person when it comes to people. Unless you're a piece of shit, though. An obvious piece of shit. Then we'll talk. But, it's what's happening is that we as men, we're always trying to prove that we are better than the other man. And this is what's leading to all these meltdowns. Maybe if we spent more of a time not giving a fuck what other people do and spent more time improving ourselves, maybe this would be a better space to be in. I didn't come up here, or I believe many black men didn't come to this space with the intention of embarrassing black men. I had always was under this belief that a lot of men come to this space because they want to fix the outlook on how the black man is viewed. Not so much fix it, but to set the record straight and to let people know, hey, you know, you've been told things kind of in a fucked up way. Now let us explain it, even though we're getting a lot of resistance and pushback for it. But whenever like a lot of this little embarrassing shit starts to happen, that makes it hard for the ones that want to clear the air or clear the record. You know, individuals such as myself. So, oh no, it's just kind of tough to look at. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying names, but anybody who's anybody in this space who watches these broadcasts knows what's going on. And yeah, this morning started out with, hey, you know what? A habitual line stepper's name got mentioned in a negative way. Now, it just so happens to be the female again. And I keep telling you niggas, stop fucking with Sister George. Now, she doesn't need any defense. She doesn't need me to put on a cape and save her, or, you know, me to start, getting my Captain America shield so I can block all these simp words coming at me. No, the fact of the matter is she team. Shit. And then all these niggas complain about women being in this space. Y'all the biggest supporters of women being in this space. Shit. I mean that's what I see. I don't know, but you know, that's just that's another discussion about women in the space. I've said what I've said about that. You guys have allowed it completely. Yeah. Now, now, um, just saying that. I mean, it's funny to look at. It's entertaining. Like definitely, if you have one of them sit down jobs, if you are involved with the Black Manosphere, in some way, shape, or form, it's definitely entertaining. All these meltdowns and all these little beefs and shit like that. I mean, and don't get me wrong, everyone has a right to stand up for themselves. Everyone does. Everyone has the right to respond to any misinformation that might be spread about those individuals. I mean, and the way some of you guys joke on each other, roast each other, shit's hilarious. Shit's hilarious. But I mean, myself personally, it should never come down to where it's no longer fun, where it becomes, let's mudsling, let's throw insults, let's put personal information out there, let's bring each other's family members into it, let's bring each other's criminal records. I ain't never cared about any of that shit. I believe this: if this person is scot free, if there's no court of law that has convicted them of anything that you may be accusing them of, then you're just trying to bring that person down and ruin their reputation. Then it becomes no fun, and then people are going to be like, "Hey, well, just at the end of the day, black men can't work together to do anything." I mean, shit. It ain't like we're cool as the habitual line steppers right now. We are, and I'm not presenting any doubts right now. But my biggest fears is always, will this black people or black men thing apply to us one day? That something is going to come between us, and it's just going to destroy everything. Maybe it's a matter of ego. Maybe it's a matter of, finance. Maybe one of us got too big and the other one didn't, and it's just like, I mean, I'm just throwing these things out here. I do think about these things. I believe as a squad, and we as the habitual line steppers, we individually on our own can hold our little spaces together. So I don't believe any of this will ever come into question because I believe that each one of the habitual line steppers are full grown adults. But what I saw this morning, that wasn't acting like an adult. What is wrong with these dudes? What's wrong with these guys? To be so consumed and worried about other people's relationships, other people's marriages. No, I don't like the little negative dialogue about marriage. I've never told, and as an older guy in the space, because I understand that y'all believe that the age of 45 is one foot in the grave, and I'm always trying to give everybody cringe-worthy advice, that leads them down the road of disasters. I've heard millennials express this over and over and over again. I would, I don't believe in that shit. Okay, I don't believe in telling someone to go get married or marry a single mom. That is on the person that wants to do that. But I would never stop a man that really wants to do it. If you want to fuck with a single mom, that's on you. If that's your dick. That's what you do as a man. If you want, I mean, uh, I I know we have a lot of men in this space that recommend against it. But I've always said if she looks good enough, I believe any man would compromise. If she was look good enough, if she was feminine enough, if she was nice enough to that dude, a lot of people would renege their beliefs. I'm not saying that all of you would do that. Oh, I'll never marry a single mother. Like, okay, great, fine, awesome. Do you, dog? But a lot of y'all fake breaking in this. Like, I mean, and I run into this type of guy quite often. And I'm not here to say who's not red pill, who's blue pill, who's black pill, or who's a prescription junkie or what. I'm not here to say any of that shit right there. Shit. I feel like any of these spaces, any of these spheres of influence, I believe there's diverse thought in it. I don't believe that you should have to portray things one way and everyone doesn't have to come under the same accord. It's not possible for everyone to think the same. But some dudes believe that we all gotta think the same. So I'm just here to say that's dumb shit. You know, and you know what though? It does let me know the power of the individual habitual line stepper because like Sister Jordan had some heavy hitters come after her. Like some heavy hitters. So uh, far be it from me to sit up there and mention any names because these guys swear they're so hardcore, and then the second you say something in disagreement, there's meltdowns. Like it amazes me how you can go to male YouTubers who are larger content creators, and if you say anything that disagrees with them, they throw hissy fits, they'll time you out, and they'll block you. I say hissy fits to be as smug as possible because that's exactly what it is. Why would you, as a bigger content creator that, you know, found some success, be that mean toward a person that you don't know just for simply disagreeing? I mean, some guys do it because it adds to whatever environment they're trying to create for their channel, but I just never got any of that shit. Everybody acts like, a lot of these guys act like they sit on a Mount Olympus or something, looking down at the masses and just believe that they can throw lightning bolts. You know what I'm saying? When it's just a conversation. It's just a goddamn conversation. If I say something stupid, by all means, chat, let me know. True friends let me know whether I'm saying stupid shit or not. Just like the true friend that lets you know your breath stink. See, I found myself being that friend. If you're going to talk to me and you're going to be in my face and your breath is just fucked up, I'm going to be the friend that hands you the stick of gum. I'm going to look here, guy. If we're going to carry on this conversation, you need to be a little bit bearable. I'm a true friend. I'm a true friend. True. See, and that's how I feel about that chat down there. If you slightly disagree with what I'm saying, say something in disagreement. Just don't say anything like black male babies should be dead or something like that. Don't do that. Don't go that far. You know. I mean, say anything else, but just stay away from the creepy shit. Stay away from the cringe shit. Just language about buttholes and stuff. Just outside of that, look, you good. You good. I'm not gonna do what bigger content creators do. And they're only bigger because that's visually what it looks like. Shit. We the biggest thing going today. Obviously. Shit, somebody's always messing with a habitual line stepper. So, I mean, I guess that's something y'all gonna have to get used to in the foreseeable future. Art New Style TV, what's going on? Thank you for stopping by. Say maybe the women aren't the problem. After all, this is the name of this broadcast. And as you walk in, I see I got nearly 30 people so far. Please press that like button. Even hit the dislike button if you don't agree with what I'm saying. You know what I do with those. If it's your first time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you guys come in tomorrow night and next week and every other weekend that I do a live broadcast. And this Thanksgiving weekend next weekend, so you know what happens around there. You may get two shows, family time, stuff like that. But we always like women in the space and women in general are always an issue in this space. And it's an issue in the way of there a lot of the subject matter of this conversations that are in this space, and a lot of people say that they are tired of it, and a lot of people are saying, so what? Everybody talks about everybody. I'm one of those everyone talks about everyone people. A lot of people don't see the things the way that I see it, and I don't need them to. Period. I mean, you can agree or you can disagree, but it's women don't. There's a lot of women, a lot of females that have expressed that they don't want to be the subject matter, but at the same time, those women be in spaces where men are the subject matter, often creating the framing that there is some type of gender war going on. I think what it is just a war of different trains of thought. Uh, it's a war of clashing ideas. I believe that some people are just more sensitive because they have this gender entitlement thing. There are some men that believe that men should be seen as, superior as kind of having this little God complex, and and a lot of that does come from a legitimate spot because we are, at least the men in my environment, they raised us to be protectors, providers, so on and so forth. Like, basically being a man is a thankless thing, you know, that we don't need to be thanked for performing our duties as a man. That's at least the environment I come from. So, because of that, because of said duties, it creates that kind of entitlement. And entitlement in this case might not be a bad thing because, hey, you know what? When we do things like when we pay all the bills and when we take care of our kids, it's just put everything on our shoulders as men. We don't really expect any kind of thanks for it, but some appreciation might be necessary. Like, don't let men play so fucking hard as to make you believe that they don't need to be thanked for some of that shit. Because it's pretty obvious from a lot of the sentiment that is expressed in the manosphere that men do need to be thanked. And that may not necessarily be a bad thing. A lot of the, a lot of the complaints from men, period, and not just black men in the black manosphere, is that men are not appreciated. And yes, you do have people who repeatedly express that. And it's one of those things that I just believe it is what it is. Hopefully we can get through it, being day to day as a man, because that's what goes on a regular basis. We are not thanked for the things and the bullshit that we have to put up with just to feed our families, just to keep food on the table, keep the lights on, things such as that. In fact, as far as the general uh, opinion of, now let me take it out of men and let me just put it in black men. We as black men, as far as the general opinion of our people, especially in the spaces that black men have failed, that black men are actually dangerous for, black women and black children, that we are conquered men, that the white man is more dominant than we are, basically, that we serve the white man. And because of that, that's causing a lot of conflict within within black men. It's causing a lot of conflict. It's causing a lot of pink finger pointing. I'm not Dusty. I make this amount of money. No, those guys over there are Dusty. you know, Women aren't the problem per se, but they're able to create problems for us. We as men should be, or at least we are raised with the belief that anything that is thrown at us we can deal with, period. And it should be no problem, which really is not true because a lot of us aren't raised with the wherewithal to deal with those problems. Now, I'm not saying that, it's all the females' fault because they create problems for us. Some of these problems we create for ourselves. But here's one thing y'all don't want to admit, that most of which, a lot of you guys, A lot of you guys, it's because of females that you feel a certain way. That's why you're saying that this guy and that guy seems to be powerless, and this guy and that guy is begging these females and trying to influence these females, and female, female, female. I'm not here to tell black men what they should be here for because I know that will cause conflict. You can be here for the females all you want. A lot of you are here for the females anyway. You can't admit it. A lot of guys feel like that you should be here to help men, to help black men. Help how? Help how? Offer a good word of encouragement. I can do that. That's pretty easy. I could tell you. I could tell all of us. I will say you black men, but I have to say us black men. I can tell us black men to go out there every day and do your best. I can tell you that. I can tell you if you don't have a job, and especially in these COVID times, you don't want a job. Go out there and apply for a job. Try new and different things to improve your life and improve your level of finance. If you don't have an education, go get one. I can say all of those things. I can say all of those things. But what value do they carry? Shit. A lot of people, a lot of men, a lot of women who try to do these positive broadcasts, these uplifting broadcasts, they get ushered to the side for the drama. Tell you what, before today, I would say I was really, and I may still be like this. I was tired of hearing all of the broadcasts complaining about black men. I mean, that is very popular. Black male misogyny, divestment from black men. That's a very popular algorithm, and a lot of people have hopped the bandwagon. I used to be mad about that, but as of today, I'll put less focus into that element. That element exists, and believe me, I don't. It's not my expressed desire for black women to adopt divestment culture, but it's totally their choice. Here's what I think about divestment culture on social media: that they want to get away from black men. That's why they can't stop talking about us. They can't stop talking about black men. They can't. If you wanted to truly divest, hey, talk about how great your life is without the involvement of a black man in your conversation. But, I've said enough about that. The thing is, there's so much infighting within black men. I think that black men need to focus on fixing whatever issues there are with black men. Or we can even try this. We can just do us. Like, do you, brother? Let's see how far we can get with each other's philosophies, and at the end of the day, whoever gets the furthest was the one that was the most right. But no, it seems like there's always going to be fighting. I'm starting. I'm almost starting to give up on
whole black men may not be able to work together because everyone wants to be kingfish. Everyone wants to sit atop a throne. It ain't got to be about a throne. As long as I'm sitting in a comfortable chair, I'm good. I don't need to be standing over you like a king. I mean, but at the same time, don't be putting people in a position where they have to assert themselves. And for the last time, don't mess with the habitual line steppers. I don't care if it is Sister George. I don't care if it is a female in the space. If that female is a habitual line stepper, you fucking up, bro. Period. Call me a simp if you want to. I've been anything but a simp ever since I've stepped on social media. Shit, even before that, we married folk. Well, some of us are. Some of us want to spend our lives with a member of the opposite sex, or however some of you out there do it. Some of us want to do that. Shit. Look at some of these comments. Look at some of these comments. Ledger time processor. What's going on? Says raise your standards, black men. Hybrid catastrophic impact X83rd power. Black are raising their standards and not settling for less, which is the reason why 54% of black men are single and childless. Yeah, I mean, I get the. Here's the thing. I get the sentiment of not wanting to share your resources with someone. Or no, not even. Not sharing your resources. Yeah, you have your right to be as selfish as you want. Ask Oprah, or to want to protect your resources from possible, seizure or forfeiture. Through the pains of a relationship. Too many men have failed in that and lost a lot of what they worked hard for, and that is an impending fear amongst the young male or the young black male who is making money. I get that. If that's really what you're on, not just some elaborate way to cover up failure, you know, in the relationship market. Don't be mad because the relationship is working for some people and it's not working for you. Then I'll tell a female that, and I'll tell a man that. A lot of you brothers out there don't like the relationship conversation in the space is because if most of these females had sense, you wouldn't be getting any pussy. Let me say that again. You don't want this thing fixed because of a lot of these females. If most of these females had sense, a lot of you dumbasses wouldn't be getting any pussy. Shit, who am I to tell a woman to, hey, you know what? If you behave this way or that way, you might be able to attract the kind of man that you want. Blah blah blah. And I'm just saying this as a man. You don't want that kind of advice to become infectious because that means that there's less women for you to just stick your penis in and just call it a fucking day. And really, I gotta be honest with you guys. There's enough pussy out there to be able to do that. Just from what I observed in my 45 years of being here. But according to the general consensus, is that the majority of the female populace aren't great decision makers. when it comes to sexual interludes and, you know, romantic hookups. So what that does is, because of the lack of thinking in said relationship discourse, a lot of brothers who would otherwise be full of it succeed in that market, leading to more disarray and more trouble among the genders. So by the time a so-called quote unquote good guy gets to this female, she done been through so many of these dumbasses to the point where she can't even recognize what a good motherfucker is. And that's pretty subjective. But when we think in the context of these conversations, I'm trying to speak as literal as possible. The guy is truly good. She doesn't recognize that. So now you got a lot of damaged and broken people out here. And a lot of the guys that are full of shit are able to prey upon and prey is a very strong word to use. Prey upon brokenness. Now, if you have a guy, say, someone that a certain particular someone that, has broadcast every Monday through Friday morning, a black man that wants to find the solutions to all of these problems and has a bunch of pretty good conversations discussing said problems, which might lead to a lot of people that are beginning to think, well, you know what? This guy has some pretty good points. Maybe we should start thinking. Then these full of shit motherfuckers have less and less people to sell their bullshit to. And for that, no one can when you got people like that that's trying to talk sense in other people, that interrupts those guys' plans. Now, not saying that this is be a really effective practice of trying to talk sense into people. I'm not saying that because it's like pulling teeth. Like, I swear to God, trying to talk sense into someone, trying to, I would say, present hope to lost causes. But just the mere fact that it triggers people that you're trying to bring a positive light to a bad situation, that's really telling about us as a people in general. Wolf and Beta Clothes, what's going on? He said, I think most men would prefer wide over the current hookup culture. Uh, let's see. Hybrid says, fathers used to be the ones to vet husbands for their daughters, but in this era, there's far less of that happening. Man, let me tell you something. I watched King Richard. King Richard is that movie starring Will Smith, as Will Smith doing an incredibly good impression of Richard Williams, the father of Venus and Serena Williams. And I got a lot from watching that film. You know, but one thing that it really told me was, I mean, he fought tooth and nail to be there. Though his the father of at least those children that he had. I mean, he did everything. He did everything. And now it's like there's this feminist media attack because a movie was made about the father of Venus and Serena Williams instead of Venus and Serena Williams themselves. The feminists are even calling the movie sexist, even though Serena and Venus are executive producers. They're the ones that wanted to get that vision out for the kind of man their father was. And you know what? We as a culture, we rail against that. So I can kind of understand why, you know, a lot of these guys are going to hookup culture instead of wanting wives because of the way that, fatherhood, especially in the black community, is viewed. And I understood that before I became a father, and it did not discourage me. But of course, I'm one person. I'm not telling guys what to do. I'm not telling you what to do. And that's the big problem with a lot of these guys. They feel like the older guys are trying to tell them what to do with themselves. I ain't trying to tell you to get married. I ain't trying to tell you to have a kid like I did, get married, have a kid like I did. I'm not telling you to do that because a lot of you guys are correct. A lot of you guys are absolutely right. You should not have to risk your livelihoods and your earnings to marry a woman. You should marry a woman because you love each other. Old fashioned idea. Just I'm one that I want to see the black family work. I want to, but if it's not going to be your choice, then so be it. I'm not recommending that you hook up with anybody that you don't want to hook up with. But stay out of other people's business. Shit. Let them find out. Yeah, that is correct, Hybrid. Yeah, it was a great film. Like Will Smith, he knows how to present a narrative. I will say that. Shit, Will Smith, he's a like himself. His life is reflective of what the kind of shit that we be talking about. That man can't get no respect. But hey, I mean, I'm not telling y'all to beg for respect either. Don't beg for respect. No, don't do that. Don't negotiate. Shoot. Now, let me get back. Let me see if I can get in tune with the topic. Maybe the women aren't the problem after all, because I always see dudes fighting. I've been seeing dudes fight all my life, and this so-called quote unquote gender war is nothing but a subterfuge for men to keep fighting. You know, I mean, I'm trying. I'll tell you that much. I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm always the brother that I don't know if I could affect a positive outcome. I will. But I ain't finna do that shit for too much longer. Hell, I'm gonna be like the rest of y'all dudes on this platform. I'm gonna do me. I'ma do me. Shit. But you know what though? I just feel like it's cool to talk to y'all. Seriously. Whether you feel like I'm here to help you or not. I just believe it's cool to talk to y'all. Let your time processor. When you sing a marriage, when you sign that, which I'm sure what you was trying to say, a marriage contract through the state, you're not married to the woman, you're married to the state. Good point. It said what we call gender war is in reality a war on black masculinity, which sounds pretty accurate. I will say this is never considered a gender war until men start talking. It's a comedy show otherwise, because it's like when it's just the females talking. And this is me. Maybe you see this as a one-sided viewpoint. When it's just the females talking, niggas don't care. I mean, some niggas don't care. In fact, they'll laugh at it. They'll use it to prove that they don't let anything get to them by treating it as a comedy show. Now, when you have the few guys that take exception to what's being said and they make a couple broadcasts about it, all of a sudden it's a gender war. Oh my God, it's a gender war. Black men and black women can't stop fighting. Can't we all just get along? Like, just all of that shit. All because a couple of black men might have said something about, maybe them bitches need to stop talking about genocide against black male babies. You know what I'm saying? Maybe them bitches should stop telling everyone that the cops need to kill black men. you know, that's when it becomes a gender war. All of a sudden, the genders are against each other. All these verbal shots being fired, verbal bombs being dropped, verbal assassinations. Which, in reality, I mean, it really is nothing but it's nothing but bickering sessions. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that the guys that aren't speaking on the issues and the behaviors aren't correct. I'm not saying that. But if you are, like, say, for instance, on Facebook making several posts a day about it, or you're a YouTube content creator and you're making several broadcasts a week about it, then it becomes repetitive. Because when I look at the broadcast that, the broadcasts that are complaining about black men, what black men are saying, what black men are supposedly doing out here in society, I see that as super repetitive. I see that as super weird. So, saying it's gotta look weird to someone else. Truth as I know it. What percentage of black men have never been loved or revered by a woman before? I don't know. That's not a recorded stat. But, I mean, there are a lot of brothers out here who, obviously have complaints. I mean, not even complaints, just feelings due to their personal experiences. Let the time process. The females respond to the manosphere is nothing but them, women feeling a threat to the power given to them by the system. Yeah, no one's gonna give up power. Like, yeah, no one's gonna give up power. Not us men, not women, not the power that the system gave them. No, they will fight to keep and maintain that power and will make many, many attempts to gain even more power, even if they got to use sex to do it. Believe me, it's a cold world out there. Says absolutely. When men were getting criticism and character assassinated by the media, nobody really cared. It has been a one-way aggression for decades. Men just coming back like Kwame Brown. Yeah, it's far before Kwame Brown. I would even say before Tommy Sotomayor. Men didn't really say anything for a long, long time. We just kind of took it. And a lot of the time, we just disguised it as we were just handling our business, that we had better things to think about. Oh, yeah, one major one. We didn't do the things that women did, we didn't gossip. Let me tell you something. Those men back then, right now, are old niggas that are complaining. The men that thought like that in the past, now are older gentlemen who are saying like, "Oh God, I don't know what's wrong with these women." Blah 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 blah. And they were the very guys that were sitting up there trying to say, "Well, man, you having difficulty with these females, man. You got to do this. You got to do that." 20 years later, they didn't change their fucking tune. And all these young guys talking this shit right now, guess what you're gonna be doing in 20 years? You're gonna change your fucking tune. All that, I just don't see myself doing it. Nah, nah, mm-mm. Nah. Hybrids catastrophic impact 83rd power. The manosphere is a place for men to discuss these issues instead of internalizing them. No, no man should be internalizing shit. No, we've internalized it enough. That's the problem. It's like we our mental health. I tell people all the time, our mental health as black men is never really visited upon very seriously. Like I said, we're treated like emotional stiffs. I really hate that word being used wrong. We're emotional. Every time you express some type of feeling, you're just being emotional. BGS Ipmore is in the building. Said Green Gorilla played a Tony Brown show from 1985. This is not new. Mm, no, it's not. I mean, I grew up in that time. I was a little kid when and I mean, like I used to hear the conversation the women in my family were having. I used to hear those conversations. Yeah, they were very, very very cosmopolitan magazine kind of thing. Like women should like the conversations women should be getting half of these dude shit. Them kind of conversations. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, we gotta. I don't know. I guess us as men, we gotta come up with new and creative ways to deal with this, or we just leave it alone. Leave it alone. But I'm here to tell y'all, I still, after everything I've seen this week, I still refuse to believe that black men can't work together. I do, man. I think that there are a lot of different personalities here, and there's a lot of personality clashing in the black manosphere. But I'm not gonna give up. A lot of y'all just kind of giving up. I get it, but black men are we're able to work together. It's looking bleak right now, but I believe we can work together. I do. I do believe we can. I don't know. I guess it just has to be more brothers with my thought process, because some of you guys out here, so niggas love to fight. It's the culture. Yeah, yeah, it is. I mean, I'm pretty sure all the black people in Africa, they're not looking at each other like, oh, you black, I'm black. Hey, let's do this, dog. Let me check something real quick. Shoot. Hope everyone is looking forward to another productive week, at least for some of you. Man, I haven't even monetized this video yet. I mean, tell you something, a little 50, 60, 70 cents, they add up. They add up. All right, I got 100%. I got 35 likes. Thank you. If you haven't pressed like yet and you're watching, go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that like button. Shoot. Hit that like button. Maybe the women aren't the problem after all. Now looking at that thumbnail. Looking at that thumbnail. I almost forgot to discuss what was in the thumbnail. Oh man. Shit. Yeah, a lot. That had a lot of people disturbed. Even like I watched a video where they were doing the beginning of that particular session. Passion Jones. I think that's her name, Passion Jones. Yeah. Because I know everybody tuning into this broadcast, they probably were like, "Oh, okay, why? Oh, he's gonna discuss the ghetto gagger." I mean, is that an L for black women? I don't believe it's an L for black women. I don't. I don't believe it's an L because I mean, it's like this. Do I have to take every L for every black man that's failed? No, I don't. That's a ridiculous notion. But shit, the reason why it would appear to be an L for black women is because we have a lot of sisters that have deflected from that. Because even in the session itself, the beginning of the session, like a lot of people had that video, all over social media. Even the beginning of the session, the guy in the video was like, "This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like, I can't believe this is happening." Now, am I worried about it per se? Am I going to shake the finger at black women and say, "Hey, black women, you should be ashamed of yourself"? No, because whatever issue that is right there, it does not have anything to do with the collective of women. It's just that when you have women out here trying to deflect from it, doing various things like trying to bring up what, gay black men do in pornos, then that's what makes men more antagonistic about it, I would say. Yeah. All of the stupid deflections you see all over social media. But you know what? I would say this. If a young lady brings herself to do that for $1,200 to $2,000, if she brings herself to do that,
then yeah, there are issues with the mother. And then a lot of people will say, oh, well, why are you pointing the finger at the mother? You're always blaming the women. And here's my response to that: the mother was in the room. That mother was in that room, in the ghetto gagger room, where many bodily fluids have passed away from people, women in particular. What's funny to me is females would get mad at men because this girl did this, and then had her mother in the room with her. I heard they skeeted on the mom. That's what I heard. I mean, yeah, and this shit is embarrassing. It's nothing that can be redeemed. It is. But they getting mad and deflecting and saying that black men are this and black men are that. No, no, no. Y'all keep that over there with y'all. Uh, uh, nope. Can't blame black men for ghetto gaggers. Maybe you can blame them in not the presence of a strong father figure, but sometimes there can be a father figure there and that shit still happens. Shit. You forget the father that is always out of town, that's always away. He might be a military guy. He might be a high ranking military officer that's always away and getting paid a good government salary to take care of his family. But while he's away, mommy ain't got no goddamn sense. Daughter out here running wild. Shit. But you know what though? When I see stuff like that, it takes on a special meaning for me. And yeah, this is one of those, yeah, one of those dad with daughter moments. Because they ask that question, oh, what if it was your daughter? And then my simple answer is this: I kill everybody. Like, what the fuck you talking about? Ask me if it's what if it was my daughter again? Kick your ass. No man want to think of his daughter in that light or thinking his daughter could end up like that. The fuck out of here. That's disappointing to see a parent in there with their kid. Come on, baby, take that nut to your face. Get gagged like the ghetto superstar that you are. Can you imagine the pep talk? Just keep the word zaddy in your head. It's only 30 minutes. Like, it's like, what the. I'm like, Jesus. But it's not an indictment of black women. I'll say that. Just saying there's some troubled youths out there, and there's some troubled parents as well. But my thing is, for as far as the women go, is you can't get mad at a black man just because you're embarrassing yourself, or some woman somewhere embarrass themselves. Just like black men don't think in terms of working together. Shit, I don't believe black women should think of themselves like, damn, if just because Passion Jones and her dumb ass mother was sitting in that room, that's not representative of all black women. It's not, but when you defend it, it might as well be. When you try to do stupid shit like deflecting to the gay dudes just because you're upset that two black women could actually put themselves through that, then hell, if you're upset with black men automatically, you might as well be sitting in that room getting ghetto gagged. The fuck you mad for? Shoot, check this out. Yeah, get them likes up. Get those likes up. Likes are for free. Likes are for free. Remember that. Sir Ism, what's going on? The Macosphere says crying men is the problem. Yes, I mean that's not a good look for men. That's not a crying men crying. No, that's not a good look for us. I agree with that. Epsilon Payunky TV, what's going on? What's going on? Glad y'all can tune in for my broadcast tonight. And I agree. Men shouldn't cry. I believe crying is subjective in a lot of these cases. What's up, Dollar Washer? I see you down there. Shoot. Maybe I should open up the panel at this time. You know, men are so split these days, and this space is an example of how split us black men are. And you ain't got to listen to me. Just hell, just watch around the space. It's certain content creators. And I'm not saying that one content creator is more right than the other. Hell, you may see me in the chats of content creators that you don't like. But let me just go ahead and put this disclaimer out there. Whoever a lot of you guys are beefing with, that shit ain't got nothing to do with me. so, so let me just go ahead and just put some of the elephants in the room. If you see me in the Logic Spheres chat, that does not mean I'm against Mr. Fantastic. See? Here we painted the picture. If you see me in O'Shea's chat, that does not mean I'm against Ramil. So let's just go ahead and I'm the kind of guy that, like I said, I want to see all of us, I want to see all of us get this thing together. We ain't all gotta agree. We don't. We don't all have to agree. I don't care if I don't care if any of you motherfuckers never agree with me. You know, I may be in a part of the space that y'all don't like, and I don't even know it. Hell, I've had a couple of content creators express that to me, and I barely knew the guys. That's the risk you take when you step up on this platform. Depending on what platform that that you want representing you, or you want to represent, like like any of these guys. You can say any of these guys are representative of the space, but it doesn't necessarily have to be representative of you. Shit, you don't have to like everybody's philosophies and ideologies. Nobody said you had to co-sign to just one. Hell, just what maybe we should just concentrate on just being men and standing up on our own 2 feet. No, nobody has to agree with me. Nobody has to agree with you either. Absalom, as much as Absalom Pianki, as cool a guy as I think you are, I just don't believe that I'm going to agree with you 100%. A few things, maybe, not 100%. And I expect you to feel the same way about me, guy. Head unchained. I just have to keep pointing out, y'all can't blame the incels for this one, LOL. No, we can't. No, we can't. Not this time. Not the incels this time. I don't even really like that word. That word is very Caucasian. But we love to use it. Cam Rob, what's going on? Shoot, having a well, not really a conversation. A conversation uh, involves more than one person. Monologue, that is more like it. Shoot. So, let's see. All right. So, let me open this panel up. Let me open. It's been on for an hour and 20 minutes. If anybody would like to step up and, give their thoughts real quick, you can. If not, then I'll just continue. Um, Speaking of you guys, and, you know, I'll tell y'all the truth, man. Well, the black manosphere, we are the talk of the town. Not necessarily me in particular, because I'm not in the middle of all the mess. I would consider myself more manosphere neutral, which means that I like to just blend into the environment and offer a word here and there. Uh, you know, I think a lot of these guys are just fighting for the dominant thought process. And, there's nothing wrong with that as long as you're doing it in a sane manner. A lot of y'all just, I don't know what the fuck to say. I've been here a long, I've been here, I've been here a long time. Shit, I'm 5 years from half a century. Can you imagine that? 5 years from half a fucking century of life. And boy, oh boy. Let me ask y'all a question. Is it my age group's fault that everything is like this? Is it something I missed? Is it something I missed? Did I encourage y'all to just fuck up everything? Or just be fucked up and just say, hey, you know what? Did these old niggas steered us into this whole shitstorm that we call life? Is it my fault? Did I set y'all up for failure? Did I? I'm just wondering. I'm trying to bring some balance to the force. I'm trying to tell y'all some good stuff, I guess. But I do realize, of course, that the older generation is being blamed for what the younger generation is falling short on. And for that, I have to say, I don't give a damn. Like shit, I didn't tell you motherfuckers to fail. Hell, I was the one telling your fathers and your mothers to act like they got some goddamn sense. You know what your fathers and mothers did? They laughed. So, fuck them. And if you don't like it, fuck you too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, shit ain't none of shit my fault, man.
None of it. Cam Robb, no Kev, the boomer set us up for failure. Yeah, Cam Robb, that's a very smart guy. He must have heard the parts where I said I'm Generation X. Generation X, we kind of confused a little bit. We just kind of like, huh? What the like? We're caught between the shitstorm of the boomer and millennial feud. I mean, it's just I remember guys used to approach me, okay, boomer, you got gray hairs, okay, boomer. I was like, no, Generation X guy, Generation X. Shit, I like Generation X. It just sounds cool. Sounds like a movie that takes place in the future or some shit. And everybody got to wear headsets and that make them do strange shit. But anyway, let me see what Absalon down here says. He says, not at all, Kev. 100 emoji emoji. This has been a thing since so-called slavery, etc. Nothing new under the sun. Us men just have to grow a pair. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that we need to work on the structures of our spines. Like, just don't be afraid to say anything. Like I said, talk to older gentlemen, and the current they older gentlemen, they offer me, um, they offer me tons of good advice, but like I said about Epsilon earlier, I'm not going to agree with you 100%. I don't agree with a lot of the approach of the older men. Like, somehow that some things just like aren't solvable to settle into a life, the path of least resistance. Not to make yourself into a more assertive, more efficient being. you know, just 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 to take it on the chin and just live life on a day to day basis, being everybody's bitch. And that's okay because it's safe. Now, if I were resent the previous generation for anything, it's that. If I were to resent the previous generation for anything, is telling me that it's okay to be in a subservient position. I can say this about women, especially the older women in my life. They never outwardly told me to take a lower position. Now, a lot of women will do fickle things to do that to you, but ultimately, as a man, you become an adult man, then you cannot let that have any kind of real world impact on you. This is I do understand and agree when men say that you should not let these females control your destiny. Because if you allow that to happen, then these people that sit up there and have all these complaints about black men, not asserting ourselves and not being able to stand up on our own 2 feet and carry our nuts with pride. you know, the haters and the detractors are that they're going to have their point. They're just it is what it is. They're going to have their point. Omega Dreads Gaming Channel. Slavism. Slavism. What is that? Discrimination against slaves? No, I mean, yeah, that was just some shit. Yeah, never mind. I get it though. I understand the framing of conversation that you were trying to present there. Hmm. Yeah, but anyway, okay, I dropped the link. Nobody came up, and but you know what though? I will say this. I will say this. It's making me better at monologues. It really is. It's making me better at monologuing, and it's making me better at being able to deliver these messages to you guys. So, if anything, I could thank you guys for not coming up. You know what I'm saying? That makes me better as a content creator. And evolution coming real soon. I am working on improving the setup and improving the look, and not to necessarily say that I'm just gonna cam up and you're gonna see this dazzling setup or whatever. But at the same time, I know that if you are going to commit to watching me, that you guys deserve a lot greater. You guys deserve a lot greater. So shoot. Miss LOL, bro. Let me slave in peace. Oh man, that shit's funny. That shit's funny. Yeah, man. But you know what though? I mean, as bleak as these things are looking, as much as these guys are melting down, I mean, I hope that they are more in line with like brotherly spats. I do understand that that a lot of people in this space philosophically disagree, and they're throwing shots at each other left and right. There's a lot of n words that are being said, and when I say n word, I mean the word nigga. Come on, nigga, fuck nigga, nigga, this that the other nigga. I know it's looking bleak, but it's also entertaining. Like I said, if only we could roast the way we roasted growing up. Oh man, both of these like. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, boom
Woo! How you doing?
and boom. Hey, what's going on, fellas?
What's up?
Not much, not much, not much.
The
More,
I might.
officer and the
more doom and
officer
more doom and gloom talk. The manosphere is getting ready to crumble and fold on its own weight. What again?
again. Yeah,
Again?
it's
Even though it's growing, even though more impact, even the white manosphere is using our talking points, but all of a sudden, black manosphere is supposed to fold in and just go away.
I just got two things to say because I'm gonna do a late show myself tonight. I gotta settle up the horses. To all you Cal Rittenhouse supporters, and the only reason you support him because he's white, fuck you kindly. For all you people who think that I'm a coward, but you wouldn't say none of this shit if we were face to face, fuck you twice. To those who like to guilt trip men into becoming subservient idiots, fuck you twice. Plus one. Uh, this whole the manosphere is gonna die. That was so 7 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago.
You're all you got to do. Sometimes the best strategy is this: never interrupt the idiot making a mistake. The more Crystalline Curses, the more Cynthia G's come out. Guess what's gonna happen? You're you're building more people to the army. You're giving more ammunition to the rifle. All you have to do is keep being the same damn women you are.
Hmm.
Won't even have to
Yeah.
say shit anymore.
Yeah. One question I do have is that why do the guy every all the guys that believe the manosphere is defunct and is going away? Why are they still here? And they keep coming
Be-
back year after year.
Because I got no place to go.
Oh yeah, that's officers and gentlemen.
That offset a that offset a goddamn gentleman forever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'm just curious, from you, Kev, what do you see? Because I've been hearing we hear this at least twice a year. And you,
I,
since you've been here, you've heard this at least two, three times a year about the manosphere collapsing on its own weight.
I don't know, man. I mean, like, it's a tough old bird. I would say if it's collapsing on its own weight, like shit. I mean, this black manosphere ain't going nowhere, man. I ain't worried about it going anywhere. I ain't worried about it dying. Everybody's oh, it's dying. R.I.P. It ain't what it used to be. It's
What it,
Facts.
just
what it used to be, basically, how many PhDs are joining, weekly into the manosphere where the white manosphere can't get one.
Let's talk about this. Whoever thought that one person from the Manosphere would have over 1 million subscribers and
Well,
become
the black
extremely
manosphere, yeah,
mainstream?
yeah.
The Black Manosphere, anyway.
Well, we didn't think it would be over 100,000 outside of Tommy.
And they're so mainstream that people are looking and searching that person. It's growing stronger, man. It's like Hulkamania. It's gonna run wild. Mm,
yeah, Hulkamania. That's tragic irony, but okay.
yeah.
But
Hey, it's
but it got
funny.
mainstream. But the thing is, it still has ripples.
Yeah. I get that. I get it. I get it. But
I mean, really, a lot of guys that are on here, when I ask them, what do you think the black manosphere is supposed to do and what it's supposed to be, and you get silence. Get silence because you say, well, black men don't really work together. Black men been working together since fucking slavery. They had to, otherwise we wouldn't be here.
Hmm.
Do we have to agree? Do we fight? Do we argue? Do we disagree? Do we beef? Yeah, we still do.
Every man does.
The white man, go look at the white manosphere, see all the beefs that go on over there. You just don't hear about them because you're not in that sector.
we get too much reverence to white people. I mean, if you want me to be honest, I mean, we look at them as this beacon or this standard, and
They are
you know,
they are the standard. Why? Because they run the goddamn country. They are the standard.
yeah, I get that, but at the same time, it's like we just, as a people, we just look to them like, we're getting everything from them when in fact they're getting a lot of shit from us. you know, you
Yeah.
know what I'm
Well,
saying?
you learn very quickly. Everybody shit stinks.
Yeah, I agree with
And
that. I mean, shit, you ever go in the bathroom behind a white man and took a shit? Man, it's
Oh
just
yeah. Oh
horrible.
yeah.
and by the
Hey,
way,
try
he
going to
probably
school with
didn't.
them.
He
Try
probably
going to
didn't.
school with them
And most likely
after
they
they
didn't
sweat.
wash the. And most likely they didn't wash their hands. And try living with them in the army. You go inside of a damn tent with a bunch of white girls, and you're like, why does it smell like wet dog?
Hey, but CLC, I'm not picking on you. This is the first time I've seen you, but CLC says the black manosphere got most of its talking
Bullshit.
points from white
Pickup artist,
conservatives.
the pickup artists and the red pill will tell you. Go back to the old school, not the people on YouTube. Go back to the blogs. They'll tell you a lot of the game that they got, especially in the manosphere, came from what black men that were already doing it.
Yeah.
They'll tell you that.
See, read a
You don't know
fucking
what you're
book.
talking about
Why is that like the norm? Why is that
because
the norm?
just like Kev just said. White supremacy is a religion to some black people.
Yeah, look what happened yesterday. Cal Rittenhouse is a hero.
Yeah.
Nigga, grow some nuts.
I
Grow some
hate that.
if you think a 17, 18-year-old white boy is a hero, but he gotta walk the streets with a gun. I walked the streets for 25 years in Baltimore without a gun. Get the fuck out of here. This
Yeah.
guy's your hero? Is this your king? Is this your king?
There's a very good book called Empire of Cotton, right? And in that he states that industrial capitalism was actually modeled after the slave quarters, the dorms, the slave quarters, the overseer, which became the supervisor, logging in people's hours, all that kind of stuff, right? It was actually modeled after what black people on the cotton fields. Okay, capitalism would
Mm,
not be here. Western capitalism would not be here if it wasn't for black people.
yeah.
They didn't know how to grow cotton or weave cotton. All that shit came from you. What are you talking about? It was modeled after white people.
You know why? Because a black man can't ever accomplish shit without somebody else.
Feminism is actually modeled after black women.
Oh, you know
Okay,
what?
are we talking about Anne Marie Stewart by any chance?
No, basically, if you listen to if you actually read feminist literature, right? There's a dichotomy. In fact, they actually said it in Lovecraft Country when the white woman and the black woman got together. We both want what the other has. Okay. Um, uh, White women are in this gilded cage, but they're elevated and protected, right? But black women have the ultimate freedom in their society. Okay. What? In fact, Zora Neale Hurston said, read the end of The Eyes of Watching God. Who are the freest two people in the United States, in America?
Like, white men, black women.
White men and black women. Why? Because they do what they want.
That's
Mm.
why. That's why so many black guys try to move white. My wife's not white. You're still black. Here's a question I have to ask of you both. Why is it that so many people think they can move out the black community, but your black ass always brings it?
So how many so many can move out the black community?
Say they're gonna move out the community, but you bring it. Your black skin brings the community with you, like it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, at half the time, I think most of really, I think most black men in here want the black manosphere to die, so they won't have to live up to that kind of pressure.
Hmm.
They want it to fail, so they can go back to being what they were.
You're ordinary.
Or yeah, well, not ordinary. We go back to being part of the gynocracy, and your women running you. It's
I
more
just want to
comfortable that
suffer.
way.
I just want to suffer just a little bit less. That's all. Is that too much
Yeah.
to ask?
To be fair, I don't think humans like each other that much. Humans have to be together. You cannot have a cluster of 330 million people on a landmass unless humans like each other. They have to like each other. They crave each other. Human beings will die in isolation. You have to like other human beings.
Hmm.
That's against your whole biology. Human beings cluster in these large masses is because that's natural for them to do. Of course, they like each other.
You're a
Hell,
herd
but
animal.
some of us have made hell of attempts not to go the other way though.
Yeah, I ain't, how many black men do you see out in the woods all by themselves with nobody around?
Man, we're not taught the survival skills to do you be able to do that.
Even on the continent, how many Africans do you see out in the middle of the jungle by
Shit,
themselves?
ain't no
None. That's
You
ain't no
easy.
you
black
wouldn't
mountain man.
No,
you
you don't
wouldn't
see
even
no very few
you
white
wouldn't
men
even
do it too either.
you wouldn't even be able to survive. You wouldn't
I
even be
mean,
able to survive.
depend on the person, but
They don't survive. People don't survive very long out in the wilderness.
No, I mean, you have
They
you
don't.
like you have. I mean, when you hear about them, they're so rare that you just like, what's wrong with them?
dude, what about the concrete jungle of homelessness? How
Yeah,
They
do
they
they
don't
they
survive.
survive?
That, yeah,
they
it's
all
called
they organize together in clusters. You don't see homeless people wandering around by themselves. They organize in clusters.
and the ones who go out by themselves, they usually die very quickly.
Yeah, and when they're homeless, do they move out in the middle of the woods? They're in the middle of the city. And guess what's in the middle of the city? People. They're not by themselves.
Oh, so you're saying it's in our biology to want to be surrounded by with.
Yes, yes. How
Yeah.
many? Name me one civilization where you have a whole bunch of individuals that's wandering out, living off to themselves at any time in history.
Mm. So what you're saying is no such thing as a true hermit.
Is a true hermit? There's always an outlier that's going to be out there by themselves, but they're so rare that you can, when you find them, it's like finding a defect.
Mm.
There's
Very
no,
interesting.
there's, it's like saying all snowflakes look exactly the same, and it's not true.
Very interesting way of looking at things. I mean, you
I'm a
know,
chemist. I'm,
uh,
I'm a chemist. Even the atoms every atom is different. Okay, they're not I stamped out identical. There's always a variation. There's no such thing as complete uniformity. It's impossible.
Yep. It's
Okay.
very hard, even with twins.
Uh,
I mean, you gotta think about it. This whole "I don't need no man" shit. How great do these women survive on their own without a man?
They don't. The thing is, I don't need no man, but why? Because their man has become the state, which is something that reading about slavery's capitalism and the American slave coast, and also the Empire of Cotton. Um, what happened when industrial capitalism? They wanted the women and children to come out of the homes and work in the factories, and so to do that, the state had to supplement them. So basically, the state became the father. And then 1839, they basically, with the 10 years doctrine, they hand over ownership of the children to the females.
And what year was that?
1839, 10 years doctrine.
Mm,
They did it twice, 1839 and 1896. First
mm.
one, the 10 years doctrine was from 0 to 7. At first, where the mother had ownership of the children, and then later on, they changed it to from 0 to 16. And basically, by the time they're 16, they're adults. So basically, they handed over control of the children to the mother. They're basically literally ending the patriarchy by law.
So why did they give them children to the mother? Was that just a design because the mother
Uh,
was much more easily controlled, or
and no, is well, not that is that um, number one, the mother would be more easily controlled if she had the children. Okay, and the second thing is that the state became the father.
Mhm.
mm,
Mm.
And it works better, having these units like that works better under industrial capitalism. It doesn't work
Mm.
if you have an agrarian society. That shit doesn't work. You got to have a man. You go down to Guatemala and talk about women being alone by themselves. They don't survive for very long. They got to have a man. That's that just maybe I should, because I was looking at videos. Maybe I should start doing series on stuff like this, because you know people really don't know, and
well,
people, this is what we're used to, so this is the way we think, and it's not the case.
well, do you guys believe that the way that women get through loneliness is to hang out with each other? Perhaps.
I mean, there's one. I'll answer this very honestly. It's a temporary fix because women can't survive without just males. Period. Their whole psyche revolves around it. Have you ever noticed when you see a woman without a man for so long, she starts to become crazy as shit? That man is that stabling factor in her life. You've
And
noticed the uptake. Oh,
what
go
you have
ahead.
a serial monogamy. The women actually screwing more men than they ever did. Okay.
And they're not even happy about it.
Yeah.
All right, let me read this super chat from Gold Professor. Appreciate it. He says, "Woo! Peace to the panel and to the chat, Gold Professor." And
What's up, man?
now we got Roguish son up here. What's going on?
Maintaining, man, maintaining. Long live the habitual line steppers.
Long live, long live.
Peace, BGS. Peace, Officer
Hey, what's up,
Charles. What it do,
Rogish?
y'all?
What's up?
I got a question, BGS.
Mm-hmm.
Since the state basically took over rule,
Mm-hmm.
um, is that really what has to be reinstated by black men into the black community? Does
There
it
ain't
does it
shit you
have to
can
be
do about
ruled?
you can't. There ain't shit you can do about it because you don't rule this country. How
Right,
you gonna do it? Tell me.
right.
Tell me how you gonna do it.
That was the inquiry, cuz.
How you gonna do it? Goddamn it, they can't. In Colombia right now, where the out of wedlock birth rate's like 85%, right? They can't do it. You have patriarchal countries like China and Korea. They can't do it. How are you gonna do it in this liberal ass, feminized liberal ass country?
This is and the only way you're gonna be able to do it is by gunpoint. And I'm gonna tell you, the men up here, the men in this country don't got the heart to do it.
You can't do that because if you do it by gunpoint, you're gonna crack your whole society, right? Well,
Exactly.
the only way you can do it is actually wipe out and change the whole structure. But the thing is, you're gonna have to take a step back. If if you accept the goodies that come along with this structure, you got to take what comes along with it. Is what it is.
So basically, you're always rumbling through ashes and trying to see what you can find to create some heat off of. Then,
No, really, what it is basically you have different materials. In other words, you don't have wood. Now you got to use kerosene and natural gas, whatever you do to actually heat,
right,
because you have different materials. Different materials.
right.
Uh, Basically, if you look at South Africa, South Africa is not America. Okay, their out of wedlock birth rate is 60%, and their marriage rates are falling like a stone.
Mm.
It's structural, okay? Unless, in fact, that's where the dude that said the black pill came from. We actually found it, right? It is in the comment section. He's actually an anthropologist. He said unless you completely wipe out the structure that all this stuff is built upon, you might as well stop complaining. There's nothing you can do about it. It's only going to get worse as you have more of a technocratic society.
Right, right. Because people move further away from any human linkings.
No, no, you're not. Well, the thing is not human linking. It's basically uh,
It's kind of hard to get people out of comfort.
what it is hard to keep people out of
Facts.
comfort. But the thing is, people think the way you organize a family, marriage, and all that bullshit is basically ordained, and it's not. It's a way of organizing people according to your needs in an environment. Women are not going to be tied to you if they don't have to be. And you can they brainwash people to get married as long as they can. Sooner or later that's going to erode, which is already eroding.
So,
They've been talking about the end of marriage for 40 years. It's not new.
so what we're looking at is not really feminism, but more along the line of women's nature being expressed within a social setting that was meant to buffer it out of out of its what that so that independent shit is natural. Yeah,
Yeah, well, it's not independent. We think it's independent. They're
It's not.
dependent on what? They're dependent on the society to survive.
right,
They just replace you with the government. That's it.
Just like you are dependent on the society to survive. You're not out there cutting woods and hunting squirrels and stuff like that.
right.
You depend on society to survive the same way they do.
But see, there are countries with I would say better established
Where?
social system. Okay,
Where?
let's say China for instance, right? They're
China got a hell of a feminism problem. In fact,
yeah,
we all just played it where they going. They're the only thing is they're 30 years behind us. I just played a video that said exactly the same thing I'm saying now. Give me another one.
I did see that video. Yeah.
Give me another one. Give me another country.
I mean, shit. Let's see, Mr. Z. He'll bring up like five different ones within his videos, but to show that they're all going through the same thing. So that's what made me ask the question. Well, if it isn't just feminism, then what else could it be? You know what I'm saying?
It's called art. It's called industrial capitalism. You change the environment of where you live. There's nothing where you live and what you do is there's nothing natural about it. Okay,
Right.
they have to physically grow grass so you can see and trees so you can see green. You live in a most people live in surrounded by concrete and electricity and running water
Right.
and grocery stores. Okay, you don't go to a well and drink your water. Your water comes to you, right? Your electricity comes to you. Your lights are on 24/7. Okay, that's not natural. It's artificial.
Right.
And the thing is, we used to think, okay, it's a black problem. No, it's not a black problem. It's a white problem. It's an American problem. It's a Western civilization problem. And now it's
Right.
quickly beginning a world problem because very strict patriarchal countries like the Middle East, the black mind can tell you he's in the Arabian coast. The same shit's going on. And you know how patriarchal they are.
Right. So basically, the convenience of modern society has
Hmm.
outrun its usefulness, or
The conven-
overrun its usefulness to now where,
it's morphing into something else.
yeah,
Marriage, the old patriarchal marriage that we used to depend on for 10,000 years has outrun its usefulness. That's what's happening.
right.
The structure
Oh,
is
okay.
the structure is
So
changing.
basically, we just kick up our feet there, right? Watch
You
this.
can do what the thing is. The thing is, you gotta. In other words, when you change to something else, right?
Yeah.
You got to figure out what structure is actually going to work. Okay, and will marriage come back? It might, if people find it useful. Okay, but But the thing is, women have to find it useful. The state has to
What
find it useful.
Mm. So
what
we
other
might have to
options
go
you got?
through 100 years through some dark ages, if you will, of that shit before
Oh, this
something.
ain't nothing, man. Go. You read Charles Dickens in about Northern Europe back in the late 18th and early 19th century?
Damn, that's where we going.
You're changing from a I've been talking about this shipment for 5 years, man. If you listen to me, you
Yeah,
know what's coming, right?
yeah,
You're
yeah.
changing from an industrial factory age to a technocratic age, right?
Right.
How many jobs are you going to lose?
The majority of them, at least
And what are they going to
85%.
what are they going to do?
They're going to automate them, and then they're going to have to house the people somewhere. They have
They
to
have to
decrease
house the
the
people
numbers.
some. Yeah.
They have to drastically decrease the numbers. Make sure the numbers stay decreased for some time. They're going to house the people. They're going to dumb them down. Um, get them to where they can operate within. And you know what? If you think about it, shit, Facebook is on the right move with it.
Mm.
Put them in, you know what I'm saying? Put them in stasis, if you will.
Yeah, there's a good book, a decent book. It's not a good book. It's a decent book that outlines. It's called The Technology Trap. I think I finished that like maybe 3 weeks ago.
Mhm.
It outlines all this stuff. The modern conveniences. Basically, you tell me, other than having sex and maybe babysitting your kids, what role does the modern wife have in the household now? They can't be replaced.
I mean, she's pretty much made herself replaceable.
No, technology did. She
Hmm?
doesn't. You don't have to wash by hand. You don't have to uh, basically slaughter and cook your food. You don't have to bring in water. Um, most your houses are pretty much self-operating. Okay, if you really want to, they found what women have found out basically. The stay-at-home father, stay-at-home man, is actually more efficient at actually cleaning and taking care of the house than she is, because he's
They
willing to
so
use
damn
the
li-
advantages to it. A woman will take all day to clean a house. A man will take an hour.
Yeah, get it done, get it
And you
done.
know what? There are men that can cook too. Shit.
Well, black men
men
have
in the
always been
majority.
able to cook.
Oh yeah.
You'd be surprised how many black women can't do household chores, and they try to con you. You need a wife. No, I don't. No, I don't. I said, give me one reason why I need a wife. To listen to you bitch moan and complain all day. I'm just looking at it. Like I said it before, and I'll say it again. Black women, period, have priced themselves off the dating market. Like
Yeah.
it's what it is.
My thing is okay. A lot of which is frustrating. A lot of guys come here. A lot of men on this fair. I'm gonna be honest. That don't know uh,
Shit about
their
women.
asshole from a hole in the ground. They really don't. They just
It's
rant and raving about stuff they heard on Facebook. How come women don't really argue with me? They can have talking points, but thing is, once if I really would get mad, start spitting, they shut up really quickly because they have nothing to go on.
Toya was
Hey,
just saying that how you trigger all the time with how mad you make with being
How
right,
will
especially with that cleanness shit.
I mean, basically this I'm actually gonna find it because I think I have the book and the print book because I listened to the audio because I wanted to get through the book. I'm actually going to find it. It has a whole section on household conveniences and how the household convenience actually replace the chores of the housewife. If from the early, really from the earlier 20th century, what housewives had to do to what they do now, they don't even do 10% of what they used to do. Not even 10%. That's how come they.
so
That's how come they were actually freed up to go out and work. Housewives, modern housewives, were actually bored at
yeah.
home. They didn't have nothing to
That's,
do.
you'll be surprised. I had a discussion with this military housewife, and she's like, "Well, who's gonna take care of the kids? Well, he's away. Who's gonna clean up?" I said, "Wait a minute. Do you gotta go and kill a chicken? No. Then you don't do. You're really gonna compare your life as a housewife to your husband's life as a marine? Get the fuck out of here."
let me tell y'all something real quick. When they saw that scene in The Color Purple, where
Hmm.
Celie moved in with Mister,
and they
Mm-hmm.
saw all them dishes. They
Mm-hmm.
from then on, washing dishes and folding clothes was slave work.
Okay.
I mean, and I really hate to just reduce it to a film, but we have let so much stupid shit influence us as a culture to the point where you can reduce it to a film. But Snake Man, what's going on? You there, Snake Man?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm just listening. Um, I find it funny very often. On this panels, I was gone for 1 or 2 months, but it's still the same topics, still the same bullshit happening in the Manosphere. A lots of infighting. But one thing I don't ever understand is it complaining. I get it. When there's something wrong in your life, I get it. Why you're complaining about it. But like I said, very often, every time someone brings up a solution, and I always bring the perspective of the outsider. I'm looking in, you're looking out.
Mm-hmm.
So looking out, and every time I bring up a solution or someone else brings us a solution, it's always like, now we actually do not want the solution because we must give up privileges. But why are you then complaining? Like I brought up the solution. Okay, you want real patriarchy, and then I was in a game channel. All the game guys said, "Nah, we cannot have that. If we have true patriarchy, we don't get the pussy anymore, or then we have to work with the pussy, actually work." And I thought to myself, "But why are you then complaining?"
Well, I don't. I can say for me that I don't consider what I do as complaining in the space. I would more so say that I'm trying to assert the notion that men should be men. More so, so to speak. I do get, and I do understand that a lot of people in the space give repetitive messaging, but what I don't understand is why is everybody always coming at the men about the repetitive messaging and not these weirdos? Is everyone afraid of the weirdos? But I get it. I get it. We are supposed to be a people that are about, trying to come up with solutions to these dilemmas.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't
I
think people want a solution in an
They don't.
aspect of a unity. It's more on the line of the he say, she say, and okay, just say that we right. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Ultimately, you're looking at family, right? You're not just looking at the relationship because the relationship is eventually going to, what I'm saying, expand, and you have family eventually, community, all that shit. But I don't think people take into consideration the factors, how deteriorated certain essential factors are within our social coagulation. Like BGS said, he's been saying for 5 years. People have been listening to him. I, BGS, how many people do you think is actually fighting black pill understanding and still wanting to reside in the red?
Oh, well, I would say like 90% of people they really don't want to hear this stuff, man.
well, damn.
mean, most people
Man, they
don't
don't want to
even
hear
want to
that stuff.
hear
No,
it.
because it scares people.
Most people don't even want to hear black pill because black pill is this or else type shit.
Yeah.
You really gotta be black pill. You just see the ugliness of the true world, and you know most niggas ain't built like that. Like I try to tell hood conservatives, if you really think a guy like Cal Rittenhouse is a hero or he's some kind of fucking white blade or the Punisher, some type of nigga, you an idiot.
That's what they giving them.
Hold on.
Because he doesn't have to worry about something popping off in his county, in his state, or anything like that, where he has to manage it. He's just gonna be on the sideline. You can cheer for somebody. You can cheer like being in the stands. You can cheer for whoever you want to cheer, right? You can want your favorite player out on the field. But the thing is, you don't have to worry about wins and losses because it's not your job.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What is actually that Carl Rittenhouse's thing? I don't get it.
Okay, this is basically well, you don't get it because in Europe the gun laws are very very strict. Okay, for the most part, you don't have the mass of guns like you do in the United States. Guns in the United States are actually a religion, so it's hard for Europeans to understand it. Okay, you have over 400 million guns in the United States, right? In the hands of private people. Okay, If you allow, say, in a civil disturbance for a group of yahoos like Kyle and his buddies to bring in weapons into a civil disturbance and something pops off, right? The next time some other place, uh, they're going to start bringing guns to civil disturbances. Guess what the other side is going to do? They're going to bring guns too, because they have guns too.
Yeah,
And then what you're going to have is two armed camps on either side in
but the
in
problem,
a volatile situation.
my problem is, but what do you expect? It's like you make a situation, and then you wonder why the situation is escalating. It's like, can you not see it? How it ends?
Well, not everyone is able to see it from the larger picture perspective from within. You know what I'm saying? That's a skill, and
Yeah,
it also got to be a value.
yeah.
So, you know,
Imagine, look at the COVID protests going on in Austria right now, right?
mhm.
Yep.
I'm talking to Steak Man. Imagine you put like 1,000 guns in that volatile situation. See what happens.
I mean, not
Things
so it
change.
escalates.
Then,
It's
That's
gonna.
then you
Well,
got
the thing is, it goes escalation with fist rocks and bottles is a whole
it's a
lot
lot
different
different.
than bullets.
I'm,
I
I'm gonna tell
mean,
you what it is. I'm gonna tell you what it is, man. Because there's a certain what do I say culture shock going on. Well, one, you got white people who already have a certain air of arrogance about them. I'm gonna go help. This motherfucker probably just sat his fat ass down trying to be a Call of Duty, saying, "Oh, I want to join the army, but I'm too fat to get in. I want to be a cop." And guess what? He had the opportunity out of what Wyoming, out of who thought there would be a riot there, right?
Hmm. Wisconsin, yeah.
Driving, Wisconsin. I'm corrected.
Hmm.
He wants to live out his fucking days. Think that he's a tough guy because he needs his rifle, and his buddies had these delusions of grandeur. And then, oh shit, this is pretty cool until shit happens.
Yeah,
You're not trained. None of your buddies are trained. Nobody was with you. You're running on your own, and people. People, even if you were defending yourself, people don't know that, and they're gonna be like, "Yo, that's the guy that shot somebody," which actually was said it happened, and they chased this dumbass down.
hmm,
And I'm like, you're gonna create this air of mystery and machismo for white people, especially white boys. You're gonna say it's okay and cool. All you got to do is take this rifle and defend yourself.
yeah. Well,
But I'm pretty sure they're gonna make laws about that shit.
yeah. Unless you want to turn into Mexico.
it's,
There's
it's,
going to be some copycatting, though.
it does.
Of
That's what I mean.
course,
In the long term, they shot themselves in their own foot, because now everyone can use it. Naturally, if a black man will use that shit, it will laws will come out automatically because now, oh shit, now it gets real.
Yeah. Well, the thing is really with Kyle Rittenhouse, if if the if the parents had done what she was supposed to do, which not bring him into that situation at 17, if the cops had done what they're supposed to do, is get people, especially with weapons, off the street. They passed by them and actually big up them and actually encouraged them, which they weren't
yeah.
supposed to do. None of this would have happened.
This was take it from a guy being in a riot. The last thing you want to do is see any dumbass with a fucking rifle, especially when it's bad enough you're dealing with 200 to 300 people in front of you,
Hmm.
and you're gonna draw. So it look, how does it understand guns draw attention? Everybody's like, well, if that guy's dumb enough, I said, guess what? A lot of people are dumb enough. A lot of people are dumb enough. You don't
Yeah.
want to create. You want to minimize as much fucking shit as possible
Yeah.
in any crime, let alone a fucking riot.
Yeah. If Kyle and his buddies can bring a gun into that kind of zone, guess what's going to happen? They said if they can bring him, how come I can't bring one?
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. It seems that it set a very dangerous precedence.
We'll see.
So, Kev, let
Hopefully,
me ask you, as far as it goes with the title, what was it specifically? Because I missed the earlier part of the show.
I don't know. I mean, just all this dissension that I see, man.
Wow.
If a lot of it does seem like that women do decide these problems that we're having, but I mean, a lot of this shit is up to us as men.
Some of it is. Some
Yeah.
of it is. Because some of when you say up to us as men, if men as a whole, black, white, whatever, got together and said, okay, this is why we're gonna run shit, maybe you could. The thing is, you can't expect 6% of the population to actually run shit.
Yeah, yeah, I got that.
Black men have never, and I'm gonna repeat this, never run their communities ever, ever.
So is that an indictment of us or an indictment
No,
of what we're
It's
surrounded?
just their
it's,
culture.
it's what you're surrounded with. You actually bred into this culture.
Well,
And
you
now,
can
at
say
what point in time would you say that we've gotten a little close?
The closer you ever got was right after
for the
emancipation
Civil
during
War.
Reconstruction for those 7 years.
That was it.
That was it.
So after that, if it didn't happen within that window, kaput.
They took it away
Right.
because guess where they needed you? They need your ass back on the.
Back in the
You know,
field.
got to remember the fact. You hate these Confederate historians, but the shit sometimes they're right, right?
Yeah.
Um, the South was responsible for 80% of the United States gross national product. Okay, and what happens if you free their labor force? How does the United States make money?
Exactly.
What do they still? So what's going to have to happen for them to continue to make money and survive as a country?
You have to keep that labor force going by any means.
It's called Jim Crow. That
Hmm.
lasted for the next that lasted for the next 100 years.
Very convenient.
It's very pragmatic. Like Deep Throat says, follow the money.
Hmm. But see,
You got to put these people.
knowing that
Go
that
ahead.
window was lost for that 7 years.
Lost. You never
Well,
had it.
excuse me, like you said,
Hmm.
taken away for that 7 years, and seeing how things have progressed since that time. Um, it almost seemed like our conversations are pointless now. Then, if you think about it,
The thing is, well, that's not pointless. The thing is, if you understand, if you understand what the problem is and where it came from and what the rules are, then you can move accordingly. It's not, I mean, do you want the black community put back together like it never was? Or, what is it that you want? Because if
right?
you one thing the black community is going to go back to the 1950s, it's impossible. The
Nope.
white community is not the same as it was in the 1950s. How's yours going to be?
Right. Right. But the thing is, when it comes to the adjustment, the convenience of as is what I'm saying, far too whetting of the appetite. You know what I mean, for a lot of folks. So it's not really. I don't really think it's a community thing anymore. I think it's more if a person is too well rested in the American dream of
Hmm.
the illusion of citizenry that they're
Hmm.
saying you can reach. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to understanding shit, just their true personness.
You're a
Well, yeah, well,
citizen.
that's part of it. That's
You're a
part of it.
citizen.
You can't lose your citizenship because to lose your citizenship, you have to have somebody to take you.
No, I'm not talking about losing. I'm talking about to lose themselves within it. Like
You
you know
already
what
are.
I'm
You
saying?
you
That-
you
Like,
you're bred in it. You're socialized in it. How can you not be in it?
but I mean, well, at the point at which it contends against your humanity, I'm not saying you at least should analyze it, but I don't think folks are doing that. They're taking it
Th-
as is and adjusting as things come to them, even
because
though
this
it
this
may
is
be
the
a
environment they
situation
live
where
in,
one can adjust to.
which is a reason they decided to breed slaves rather than bring them over. Because slaves that come from another system into a system where they're enslaved, they're going to rebel.
Right.
Okay, it's much easier to manage somebody that's been born into it that doesn't know what freedom is like because this is all they know.
Yeah, that's true.
This is all you know. First thing, black people said, well, we need to separate ourselves from the white folks and train our own people and get our whole society together, our community together. I said, well, take all the, you know, take 'em- take all your kids out of the white school system where they're actually socialized and trained and brainwashed. Take them out of that. We can't do that because we got to work. Sorry,
Yeah.
that's the first step because Charles can tell you I get tired of it, man. I'm on live streams and panels, and I can hear the training coming out of people because I've read it so much. I said you're saying the exact same talking points that was laid out for you back in the 1970s by feminists, the exact same ones
Yeah,
by the
because
by the
to
words
keep
that you
one,
use. Go ahead.
because to keep it 100, if black people, if we really want to see our people are minority on a semi-independent or semi not relied on the state or not controlled by the state, the closest thing I can tell you in the Western Hemisphere are the no-go zones in Europe. That is the closest thing.
Hmm. Yeah,
I mean,
and they're very small.
you gotta look at it, man. Your women are the first people who are gonna vote against, who are gonna fight against. They're gonna be the first people when you try to do anything helpful for a community. They're the first motherfuckers to shut it down.
Yeah,
But then
yeah,
they'll
they
have the nerve to say, "There ain't no men on my level." No duh, bitch. No duh.
they're looking for Gucci boots. Yeah, well, do how come they say okay? Well, how come there's no men on your level? Well, they won't go to school. I said, okay, well, how do we get more kids, more boys that should go to school and take their studies seriously? And then they get quiet because they know how much work it takes, and and they enjoy their privilege. That
So
was the
every
whole
time
thing
I
about
hear,
that's the whole thing about the Moynihan report. Moynihan was all about doing what he said. Okay, there's a matriarchy in the United States, in the black community in the United States. How do we end it so they can actually blend in with everybody else? Right? Give better economic opportunities to who? Black men. Guess who fought against that shit? White
and what was the
liberals and black women.
and what was said about the what was it 91 in Detroit?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They didn't want an all boys school even though it was the most successful program they could actually make. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this black feminist lawyer, you
Yeah.
could tell
Yeah.
she was a good damn feminist.
Yeah. President George Bush endorsed the school. They were funding the school federally, right? And it was black feminist lawyers that actually came in and sued them in federal court. Sued
What
the
was
school.
one of the main factors that they sued against?
Because you didn't have the same opportunities for black girls.
Ain't that a bitch?
And putting black boys in an all male environment would actually make them more misogynist and and more masculinist and not and less easy to work with.
Okay, that sounds like the rest of the world. Cool, nothing wrong with that.
I wonder if she feels the same way after all these years.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she's written papers on it.
Probably her
I'm
Magna
I'm I'm
Carta, huh?
I'm actually going to do the video. I'm actually going to show you exactly. She's the one that sued. Go through the whole court case and show you exactly what she said at the end of it. Because I read the whole thing, and you know how they like to give you this whole preamble right before they get to what they really mean. At the end, she actually tells you why she was against an all boys school. They still are. Even though they,
But
even though they probably do. If you actually want to improve, get rid of most of the black male problems, get more educated, more employed black males, you put them in an all male environment, which is what Monahan said back in 1965. He said you need to put black boys are actually raised in a all mostly female environment. What they need to do is put them in an all male environment around men to train men to get them up to speed. Right? That's what he said. And guess what the boys school do? They actually do that. And guess who hate it? It's black females.
So question. So the fact that they're backing up Umar as they are is actually kind of wondrous, then, right? I mean, I don't know if it's gonna come to fruition, but
Really? Okay. So how much backing did they give Umar? Really?
Nah, black women give them a whole lot of backing, don't they?
No, they didn't.
How much?
No, they
How much
didn't.
are they giving?
I don't know. I'll
He's
be saying
trying to get back.
At
they in
best
his
two.
corner. Most black women I believe is in his
Rogish, I'm gonna
corner.
tell you. I'm gonna tell you this, Rogish. Okay, I want you to clear your mind. Remember that whole stripper thing? Guess who was up in arms with that?
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Then on
Mm.
top of that, he's trying to get in their good graces to still get money. They're backing him on paper, not on dollar. If you get what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon they are. If they really wanted it, they can. They don't have to go to Umar. They can go right to the school board.
If they really wanted to, and I'm gonna tell you, from coaching for fucking 20 years in the school system, I rarely met the parents.
Mm.
No support. If I went to a white school, and a lot of shit would have been so different. A lot of
Yeah.
shit would have been so different.
Yeah.
We would have got
But
funding and all kinds of shit. But if you go to a black school, nobody gives a fuck about you.
yeah, yeah. The, the thing is, what I wanted to ask Kev is, what problem are we trying to solve?
Yeah.
Because we said, well, well, maybe black women aren't the problem. It depends on what problem you're trying to solve.
Yeah, that's a wide question.
No, no. The thing is, you put the title up there, so
That's
evidently
a
you had something in mind.
No, I had something in mind. I mean, maybe I'm just tired of seeing brothers break down. I mean,
Break down.
maybe a lot of
That's
this stuff
normal.
is on us. I
That's
get
normal.
that. I get that a lot of the females are the problem, but a lot of us may be the problem as well. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, we are. But the thing is, how do we solve our own problems?
how do we solve our own problems? Well,
Hmm.
yeah, that's a good question. Let me and I understand that we are very good at pointing out problems, but we never can come up with solutions, and that is a complaint that this space gets quite often. But
Space gives solutions all the time, all the time.
Once again, it's
It,
not about the solution, it's about actually wanting the solution. That's the
yeah,
difference.
yeah, all the time.
implementing that solution.
Yeah, I've seen so many people come together. Just like the meetup that Obsidian is actually doing in, I think it's in Atlanta next month. Okay, that's black men coming together. I mean, they have meetups and stuff like that all the time. Kevin's been doing this sort of stuff for 5 years. Black men coming together. Okay, we got black men working together behind the scenes all the time. Going to the continent, starting businesses, getting to exchanging information. Okay, that's black men working together. Does it mean all of them? No.
No,
I think what it is that Kevin's talking about is seeing it in the form of taking place within culture. And I think that's what people are trying to do. They're trying to establish this particular style of working together and this particular style of building information with one another as culture. But it's definitely going to come with the detractors and also infiltrators, which I think is what the space is suffering right now at the moment. Heavy infiltration, which I think a council would have been able to mitigate.
No, you know what? Okay, in fact, I'm going to redo this again. Uh, uh, it's called a viral meme, right?
Yeah.
It's something so juicy that it's going to spread, right?
Okay.
Okay. When I first came to the Black Manosphere was so tiny there wasn't even 10,000 people in this group, right?
Yeah.
You got people all over the country talking about the talking points,
Yeah.
and the principles that started in this sector, right? Now it's spreading. The biggest thing about this whole YouTube thing is basically what spread information, right?
Right.
Okay, that's the biggest thing. How do you get this information to actually spread out into the wider community to actually start solving problems and waking up the guys that are suffering?
Right.
How you do that, right? That's what it's doing. That actually succeeding well beyond whatever I thought it would be. Okay, Kevin is just the tip of the spear, right?
Right.
So it's succeeding. It's actually succeeding. Why do you think women are coming here? With COVID, they gave you a big boost because they need to get in here and figure out how to get along with their men. They weren't doing that 5 years ago. There's a reason that they're coming here. They're not coming here to close it down. They're coming here to figure it out because this word is being spread and guys are taking heed to it and using these principles. It's causing problems for them. So they need a counter.
Well, you just said it, BG. Yes, you said they're not coming here to close it down. They're coming here to learn and spread, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But what I think it is the originators of the space and those who have been, saying community members of it.
Hmm.
I think what it is that they're more dismayed that the people are taking the information and actually investing within it, as
Hmm.
opposed to trading it. You know what I'm saying? As cliche as it as occurs sometimes.
Well, the originators of the Russian Revolution in the Soviet Union, right? They got killed off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, if you can't evolve, and I because I'm one of those guys. So basically, I straight up asked them, right? What do you want this space to be? What's your end game, right? Guess what I got? Crickets,
Mm.
because they don't know. They go basically they've already reached their end game.
They've already reached the end game and there's
They've already
still
reached their
gold
end game.
around.
Basically, they've gone as far as they can. They've reached their end game, and they don't have anything after this. I'm
Death
not one
to
of
the
those people.
death to the enemies of progress.
Mm.
Well,
I'm gonna,
well,
I'm gonna,
yeah. Well, that's normally what happens. Progress is going to roll over you.
No, I'm
not
not.
just
I'm not suggesting just straight up slaughter
No, no, no,
motherfuckers
no.
bloody. I'm
You,
just
Like you speaking on
you,
principle. I hear you.
you
wink,
become
wink, nod, nod,
irrelevant.
wink, wink, nod, nod.
Yeah.
I'm still wondering, like, and how long have I been on these panels with you, BGS?
God,
How many years?
it got to be at least five, right?
Five, six, close to
Yeah, at
seven.
least five or six, right?
I'm just,
Like Kevin, Kevin started doing this kind of work on our panels
Yeah.
yeah.
6 years ago. This is to us. What you're hearing from Kevin, it sounds new to a lot of people. Well, we're hearing the same stuff we've been talking about for 6 years.
Right.
And it's funny because we went through the whole. They had a hit list. Remember that one?
Oh yeah,
They had the hit list. They had, you know, Cynthia G was like the boogeyman to people.
yeah. In the last year you have three female dating coaches quit.
Quit on black women.
Why
What
do
does
you
that
think they're
mean?
quitting?
Because they're insufferable. They're insufferable.
I mean, boy, the program is that effective. Let's just say that it's more effective than ineffective. And even, what I'm saying, I'm pretty sure they're going to them as sisters trying to help them, but it was more effective than anybody thought it would be, including those who operated it.
Yeah, the
Pardon
only
me.
reason
Pardon me.
the only reason they kept and I said this 2 years ago because Charles can tell you. I said 2 years ago. I said they're gonna come crying because Kevin is actually messing with the money because the
Hmm.
kind of guys that he's messing with, and or make my subs and Kevin's subs, or guys with skills and guys with money, and you're messing with the money, and they're pissed off. Okay, because now they can't run game, they can't finesse those guys the way they used to be, and
Uh,
that's the whole point of the manosphere.
it's like if I give you a game plan, and as a perfect coach, what's a great coach supposed to do? Get you
Elevate the
aware of
value of
such,
the players.
not just that, but give you information about what's gonna occur and can occur. Right?
Hmm.
Right.
I'm I'm not gonna coach you. If you ever saw my coaching methods, I don't coach you during easy matches. I got to get you in tune to listen to me when you're tired, when the guy's like top 10 in the state,
Mm.
when it really matters. I got to get you prepared. So, in other words, that's why what I did my, you know, show, it was the things that boys need to learn before becoming men. Learn how to be uncomfortable.
Yep. It's always
So,
game time.
so when you hear shit like we should abort black male babies, excuse me, stuff like that, you can go accordingly instead of just going off the handle and emotional. Like, okay, this chick's bad shit crazy.
Will we say that
I,
that is the extreme, or that is just par for the course now?
um,
The
it
abort black
depends.
baby shit.
It depends because it depends
They're already
because
aborting black babies. How many
they already
more
been
black
doing
babies
it
can?
for.
Yeah, before they
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
kill
yeah,
not
them.
as
yeah,
a
yeah. They been
value
kind of.
though. Not
I
as a
mean,
value.
I mean, shit said for shock value.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah,
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 that's all it
what
is.
are they gonna do differently than they already been doing?
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
I think the
Yeah.
black some black men in the ministry has a difference. Don't listen what they say. Look what they do.
Yeah,
Because people can say what they want, but if you look what they do, you actually know what where they're standing.
yeah.
Hmm.
It's how they, especially once this heartbeat bill goes through half these states, it's gonna be way more difficult to abort black babies, huh?
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Why do you think they try to give them all kinds of incentives?
Yeah. What are
They
they
try to
gonna do
get them.
that they already haven't been doing?
It's like being in a good old fashioned pit fight. What you gonna be afraid of? Somebody gonna punch you in the face?
Yeah. And how does aborting black babies help them?
It actually hurts them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I believe a lot of the outrage when she said that came from the fact that if a black man said something to that effect, like, say, if I were to start preaching, y'all need to abort black girls and all this other stuff, that someone like me would be seen as a villain. I probably
Okay.
couldn't. If people knew what I looked like, I probably wouldn't be able to walk in public.
Okay.
And
Yeah, that's true. But the thing is that we know that shit doesn't work because they did it in China
hmm
and
Mm.
India. What happened?
Mm.
they had to spread their men to Africa to
Yeah,
get these guys
why you then did it ultimately hurt the women or the men? That she gave the women more than an advantage
because
because there's fewer
they
of them.
yeah. I'm like this when I hear shit like that, I'm like, okay, abort black baby. We should abort black babies. Bitch, you got 5 kids. Like, stop lying. Stop lying.
Okay.
Like,
well,
I'm,
we talking
I'm,
about
okay.
after the fact.
yeah, I said boredom. I dare you. Because to the guys living, to the guys that are living, if they start aborting black sons, you want a son, you can't have a baby with a black woman. You're gonna pick another kind of woman
Hmm.
if you
Mm.
want a son. That's all that's gonna happen.
That's all
Men
it's gonna do.
adjust.
And that's the point they don't understand. Okay, you're not gonna get pussy. There's more pussy, but more pussy's more money than rainwater, chick.
Yeah.
Like one chick told me the other day. I think I told you
Mm-hmm.
BGS, but she like, well, I had a even though I was talking to this guy, we went trips and we never had sex. I said, really? I said either you lying or he's an idiot. What you mean he's an idiot? I said, no way in hell I'm gonna pay for a chick to go on a trip with me and I can't touch her.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
was like,
Unless you fell
Actually,
for the
cats
okey
is.
doke.
I heard some stories like that where cats is actually doing that sick
yeah,
shit.
Well,
they're
good for
idiots.
them.
They're
Good for
idiots.
them. Yeah, good for them. If you did it, it's like you hitting the lottery. Good for you. I'm not gonna be mad at you.
And then the worst part about it, she tried to shame me and say, "Well, if he can afford it, I don't think that's stupid." Yeah, because you benefit. That's the only reason why you'll think it's stupid.
If he
That's
can afford, if he's willing to give you charity, sweetie, I'm glad for you.
yeah. And I told her, I said, but why you call him stupid? And what about you? I said, I got more out of you for less.
hmm You're not even going on the trip unless I get my value. Why am I gonna take you a trip? Somebody I never had sex with on a trip with me.
Exactly. Like I told her, I didn't even take you to a drive through fucking with McDonald's, and I got more out of you than that. I mean,
Mm-mm.
some people sip, some people sip.
It's
God
what
bless the tips.
no, depending on what you're working with and your value, you have to make up for that value some other kind of way.
Hmm.
Same
Well,
thing with women.
So, BJS, let me ask you something. On the metaphysical level, what
hmm
does this look like with the separation that there is between black men and women? Because we know what it look like. You know what I'm saying, socially and as far as goes within society and things. But
Metaphysically, okay,
yeah,
then you have to eliminate race. It doesn't make any difference. Okay, culturally, you're gonna have a split.
Right.
And culturally, you're going to get absorbed. You can basically, like anything else, you're going to get absorbed by another group because you can't be out there in isolation. Men and
Yeah.
women are going to find counterparts in some other place. So if you know, so if you it's not within your group, you're going to find women and men outside your group. So the group will cease to exist.
So that's the ultimate admission you speak of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they can do whatever they want. That's why, that's why I said if they want the black community to stay together, ultimately it's up to them. If
I
not,
mean, but
men will adjust. Men will figure out, okay, this isn't working. I got to do something else. They will do it,
come on,
which is what they're complaining about now. Men, black men are not checking for them like they used to.
that's your mama.
and and black men, rightfully so. The younger men are actually demanding way more than we did. Okay, they had momentum, cultural momentum, because especially with the boomers, because this was passed down to us, and all this the power struggles that I went through in my 20s, man, that shit was just starting. Because you didn't see that kind of power struggle with your parents, so like you're shocked when you get with a woman and you're thinking about marriage or something like that, and you got this big ass power struggle. It's like, bitch, how come you just can't do shit the right way? It was new to us. The thing is, we didn't think it would, we thought okay, it's just going to be a bump in the road, right? Shit just got worse.
Hmm.
And to the point, do you see what is now? The men and women can't even get together. And what happened? All COVID did was actually reinforce it. It taught, it shocked men out of their brainwashing that I don't need to let pussy control me.
Mm-mm.
That's what you're
Facts.
seeing now. Now, guys said, you know what? I went the whole year without it, right? Without female contact and all that kind of stuff. And guess what? I didn't die. In fact, I had more energy and did other stuff. So guess what? You know, uh, you turning me down for sex. Guess what? I can wait another week, another month, and I
Hmm.
went a whole year.
Man, I'm gonna tell you about that. This COVID shit, man. Man, they were giving out fucking pussy like Pop Tarts. I mean, Jesus Christ. You got these women who like living alone and all kinds of weird shit.
Hmm.
And all you had to do was just answer your phone. You're like, wait a minute. You're pretty. Why aren't you with anybody? Oh, you're batshit crazy. That's why.
Hmm.
That's why. Wait a minute. Your child's father is married, but he never proposed to you. Okay, now I see. It's amazing. This has been amazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Man, we called this stuff like before it happened. COVID just accelerated the stuff. It was already going to happen anyway.
Mhm.
That's all COVID did, just accelerate stuff.
So
And
so
we
so so what's the what's the worst doom scene that you see it progressing to?
the worst doom scene. Okay, as far as what? They're talking about the black community. You talking about the society in general? What are you
It's
talking about?
society in general.
Oh well, one thing where you have coffee girls on every corner. Where
Yeah.
where where, where,
Okay.
where
Yeah.
coochie is cheaper than bottled water.
Eesh.
And guy, so like I asked this one guy. He was, I think his name. I forget his name. He's in college. I asked him. I said one simple thing. I said, how many days you go on like the last couple of months? He said I went on 6. I said, what's the average amount that you pay for each day? About $70, right?
Mm.
And did you score on any of those days? He said no. So what if I told you you can actually take $5, go down to the corner, get your rocks off, and come back home, and keep that $500 in your pocket.
Mm.
Now you might say, okay, I want a connection, I want a date and stuff like that. You would, but the thing is, you're gonna look at that woman across the table very differently.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean you're not gonna date her, because I went through this, right? And I mean they're not gonna date her, but you're gonna know the value of what she brings to the table, and the value of her sex is not gonna be the same as it was with before. It's not.
So how long can such a society even stay operative?
Eventually, the government would have to step in and kind of organize it to where
Yeah.
it doesn't destroy society. But the thing is, women would have to adjust because they'd have to come to the table with more skills than just sex.
But then that's the only thing that's gonna do is eventually, I guess, revamp motherhood. Maybe what I'm saying. Maybe it gives it a whole
If
different value, but now it's somewhat of a socialist
nah,
practicality for the value.
it's actually less socialist. It's actually more patriarchal, really. You know,
Okay,
Hey,
basically. Go ahead.
hey, guess what just happened, guys?
you
What
had your
happened?
first dislike.
I got my first dislike, so we know what's gotta happen.
Let's
Oh
hear
yeah.
Now I'm feeling objectified by your male gaze.
Damn. I get my first five before I even start the stream. So
it.
bully for you. You're in good company.
God damn.
If there
Shit.
ain't no if ain't no dislikes, that means you're not doing it right.
Yeah. I got five of them buddies last night though for
Oh
the
yeah,
Kyle
that was
Rittenhouse
good.
broadcast.
Oh
That was
So
wow.
good.
yeah, so
Oh yeah.
Fuck you, Kyle. Hell, like, don't you,
You
oh
know,
man, I better not. I'm gonna have a bunch of men twisting their nipples. Don't you talk about our baby.
I
Don't,
look.
what is that?
He
my
gonna
my
be a superhero in his own mind for the
my
next
my, th- my
5 7
thing
years.
the best thing is no Negroes are harmed during this adventure. So
oh yeah, no Negroes were harmed during this
no
movie. Yo, I
Negroes are
love it.
harmed. So it's a good day.
You be like, oh, white folks shooting white folks? Damn. I
You know what
love
I'm
to hear
saying?
more about
Uh,
your white on white crime.
nah, yeah. I said, hey, I don't feel any kind of way about it.
Hey, but what is that though? When you got your average black person that calls this Kyle Rittenhouse a hero, he's an American hero. You know
He's
what
telling
is
on
that?
himself. He's telling you where his values lies. Okay.
I'm just saying that he
And
reminds me of an animal.
my
He
thing is
reminds me of.
okay if Kyle Rittenhouse is your hero, what are you doing on this side of the fence? Why don't you
I'm,
go
I'm
over there
just
with
gonna.
them?
I'm just gonna say those people are like a certain animal. You know, a little furry creature. You know that rummage through trash sometimes. And
Raccoon, possum,
yes,
raccoon.
raccoons. You know
I
they
mean,
like rummage.
okay, but wait a minute,
y'all,
wait a minute.
y'all, y'all need to come back to the Bible. I said, Blade Bright, you don't want to get into a religious discussion with a Gnostic, boss. Not at all.
Y'all
Not
need
at
to get
all.
nigga.
Not at
You need
all.
black. Nigga, you need black Jesus.
Not at all. You don't want to get into this kind of discussion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how the Bible is relevant. I'm sorry, I'm making
It's
some
it's it,
parallels,
it,
but
it can be if you read it right. It is relevant. But thing is, most people don't read it right.
yeah.
Those people can't read. Period.
Yeah, that's true. Most people use the Bible about what the pastors told them. Not they didn't actually read it for themselves.
I mean, but I see it. It's just it's a book with stories on how societies were interacting with each other at a
Yes, yes,
different
yeah,
time.
yeah. Hey, human beings ain't changed in like 20,000 years. It's still
Yeah.
relevant.
Yeah, welcome to history. Human
Yeah.
history, always the same shit.
The same shit. Just it just cycles. The only thing changes is your environment. It's the only difference.
Well, the thing is, people like the Bible for the magic, right? That's that's what they like, the Disney parts of it.
Oh, of course. They like the iPhones and their smartphones for the same thing. They
Hmm.
don't care about the what's underneath it. They want the magic.
Hmm. So damn, let's basically gonna watch this motherfucker. Okay, yeah, all right, yeah,
Man,
yeah,
just put your favorite cartoon on and
yeah.
just have at it.
No, I'm gonna throw on the Three Stooges. We gonna watch this bitch go out and
You know,
with Larry Moe and Curly knocking the fuck out of each other, getting drunk and
I'm just looking at
laughing
it
Joker
like,
style as this
uh,
motherfucker burns or something.
I mean, average black chick wants to look like Stone Cold Steve Austin anyway. So I mean, hey,
They've been taught that. They've been taught to be masculine. So they've been taught to be in a man's role. So the what you have is that's like your partners. When I was coming up, if you talked about your partner, that means you were gay.
Yeah, that's what I thought it
Because
was. Like,
you couldn't have a husband or a wife. You could only have a partner because a husband and wife were actually male and female roles. Okay,
Right.
and so basically, what you have, you created a whole bunch of men. You didn't create any women. You created men. So what you have is partners now. You have two. We have to. You have two men in the same household. Well, just one has a vagina.
ugh, God,
God damn.
ugh.
Oh, you asked for, you want the black pill, don't you, boss?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
You
yeah.
asked for it.
That's
I
not
mean, go ahead, ask how these chicks engage. You know how chicks have been trying to seduce you being sexy? A lot of these parts, a lot of these chicks would be like, "You gonna give me that dick or what?"
Even okay, a lot of women perform femininity, right? They
uh,
perform it because it
Yeah,
attracts you, right?
badly,
Yeah,
badly.
they perform it, so they play a role, okay? But when you get with them, so where did all this femininity go? Okay, you cussing at me like a sailor. So
yeah.
where did it go? I know how to perform it, dress like it, put the makeup on, put the walk in the heels to
God
perform the
damn.
role.
You know what,
Just
BGS?
think
I
just
gotta
think about
disagree with
that.
you there. I gotta
Think no
disagree with you there.
wait, hold on. Let's think about that. Let's objectify that. They're performing a
A
role.
role, yes,
So that means that they are attempting to get themselves versed in a skill of interacting with femininity,
yes.
not something that's just emanating from source.
No,
It's,
they
it's you
no,
know
they
what
weren't
I'm saying?
trained to be that way. They're trained to be men.
God
Yeah.
damn.
Ugh, you gonna
Game
leave?
over, man. Game over.
No wonder you
Holy
gotta bump.
shit.
No wonder you gotta bump heads with them.
Uh, God.
No wonder you
Yeah,
gotta
well,
bump heads with them.
Blade Bright, if you want to just disassemble me in an argument, boss, I have a whole channel with almost damn near 40,000 subs. If you want to argue this, you sure can. I can start a up one in like 5 minutes if that's what you want to do. Kev has a
Blade
small
Bride.
channel. Kev has a small channel. I don't. And I'm not gonna do that on Kev's channel. You want to talk to me like that? We can go. I can boot up a channel. Okay. You have 200,
You,
300
you
people
talking?
watching.
You talking to a guy who been in fucking Christian and Catholic school since two? I probably read the Bible before you could even read. Okay, and
You
I'm gonna
Catholic
say,
school too, man.
yeah, tell high school.
Did y'all have to sing them songs? Hold up. Was
Of
y'all in the choir?
course, of course. You had the. Well,
I,
no,
I,
I
I,
wasn't. No, it was a.
I
It was
went,
a black Catholic school.
I was going to
Not a
Bible
religion.
college with my mother at 15 years old. Okay,
Oh,
I
word.
I used to do my favorite thing was actually eschatology, right? Basically, what it called end times. I used to
Mm.
watch that shit as a teenager constantly about end times and in the great Satan 666 and how Christ was going
Whore
to return, all
Babylon.
that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Rapture.
Whore of
Uh-huh.
Babylon, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I was.
Basically I did it as a teenager.
I
but
learned that in
BGS,
third grade.
Yeah.
BGS, one thing I never understood about the Bible guys thing is, you know that you talking the same shit people talk between the Roman times, and the same shit people talked between the medieval times. The 2,000 years between you and these people, and you talk the same shit. Oh, our society is depraved. You must return to God.
Hmm.
The signs are there. The Antichrist is coming. God. And I think to myself, does it not get tiring always taking the same shit every time something goes wrong in society?
Some,
No.
No,
Yes.
yes, you gotta
no, they
say it
never have.
right.
They've been doing that since they we came out of the trees. Okay,
Mm.
you have you have the world is so big and so scary that you're going to have some kind of, or you have to bring some kind of order to it that you can actually understand. And this goes way back. You know,
Well, you know,
the,
God said,
people think that the cross was in, actually came about through Christianity. No, they were carving crosses on their backs in the savannas. The cross is
yeah.
one of the oldest symbols.
Hmm.
I mean, people don't even want to. You know what? Tell that motherfucker he don't even want to get in a conversation about the Coptic Church. If you can't talk to me about the Coptic Church, we don't need to talk.
Hmm.
Okay?
All right. Hey, we got Art up here. What's going on?
Have you found a friend in Jesus?
Matter of fact, last night me and Jesus went to a bar, and we were back to back in the alley fighting 50 niggas, 25 apiece. Jesus is my homeboy. Oh yeah, but
Man.
besides, I gotta call Art his new nickname, shit starter. But the eternal shit
Oh
starter.
man. Yeah,
I
that's that
mean,
kryptonite. Don't you be talking bad about them white folks.
oh
Ain't no
Lord, don't you
racism.
talk?
Oh Lord.
Oh, that Kyle
Ain't no racism.
Rittenhouse that Kyle
Lord.
Rittenhouse is the savior of mankind.
Yeah, yeah,
Lord,
Don't you dare go that far.
yeah. But yeah, yeah. I'm just I just came up here because I'm getting tired of the manospheres collapsing and black people can't work together and black men can't work together, all that kind of stuff. Black men have never been 100% working together ever,
no man
ever.
has.
You look at Du Bois and what's his name with the Atlanta Compromise. Did they agree? No. Did it stop black men from working together? No.
Well, you know how we're a problem though. We're a problem for the status quo. We're waking people up.
Yeah, of course.
So
Yeah, I'm
The
about
thing
to.
is that was always what's going to happen whenever you got cats together anyway, because eventually we go barbershop and barbershop might start off with some bullshit, but it won't end with it. You know what I'm saying? People start building with one another, if
Yeah.
even if
Cool.
only contextually.
The thing is what black women have found out that the fences and the gatekeepers that kept black men in, it can't keep them in anymore. All the fences and gates are gone. Okay, black men have it's just as much right to actually put their ideas on public square like everybody else. And you get enough people with the similar ideas talking in one voice, it's going to spread. It's already spreading. Thing is, the how do you keep the men that you're trying to control brainwashed? Okay, that's difficult to keep the brainwashing going, especially when they're not happy. You have a whole lot of
Hmm.
unhappy black men that are actually doing it because that's all they've been taught. They don't know anything else, right? What happens when they know something else?
Mm.
What happens when you teach a slave about freedom?
They
I
leave.
found
They they're
Jesus.
gonna, they're gonna want to leave.
I found Jesus and white women. Lord, Lord, I know I've been changed. Lord, oh man, I'm gonna tell you what it is, but it ain't. It's mighty funny how you look at the dichotomy between black men and black women, and the greatest weapon black men ever had was their indifference. When you get
Mm.
stabbed in the when you get like I'm gonna tell you something about combat sports.
Hmm.
You start to build up a callus, an immunity to the damage that's happening. Like you get a little bit more flexibility. Your joints start to like get a little get a little immune to some of the joint locks to a certain degree. Like you could
Mhm.
build up a tolerance when you're boxing. You get a bit more immune. You get a little bit more timing punches. Same thing with wrestling. You get taken down your first week of wrestling. It hurts like shit. But then guess what happens? During the season, you get back up and you just dust yourself off and you're ready to go. They didn't expect black men to come out and speak openly about black women's bullshit and to get a profit of it.
Mm.
Think about that.
So I just posted the Charlie Brown in my community tab. So
Oh
have
shit.
fun. I gave him the
Did
blue glove and everything.
you put it there? I can help.
Yeah, you gotta click on it to see it. Should I have that? Should I have that scene as soon as they look at it, or should it they click on it to see it?
You should leave it open.
yeah, I have
Uh,
a feeling this is some kind of inside thing. What happened? Like I
it's
need
it's uh
clarity.
it's Charlie Brown, Kyle Rittenhouse style.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We actually commissioned Art to actually draw up a Kyle Rittenhouse as Charlie Brown.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh my God.
I can I can't wear that shirt around black events. I need to hear.
It might be my avatar for a while.
You know. You need it. You know what? Every time I hear about Cal Rittenhouse, I'm gonna play that song. I need a hero. I he's gotta be strong. He's gotta be
Man.
faster than light. I need a hero. Yeah, you
I was
see
gonna
his
put some
little.
extra stuff for it. I was like, nah, don't put no extra stuff this season.
Oh, you should have
I
because
gonna put like an American
This is hilarious.
flag,
the American flag, a
Donald
make
Trump in the
America,
background with the judge.
make America great again. You should have like you should have like
Hey, that's messed up. The gun named Snoopy.
Yeah,
you should have like David
Oh,
Duke
that's messed
smiling.
up.
You should have a picture of David Duke smiling down on him,
like in the sun.
like the
Like
sun, like get
you have done
like.
well.
Oh man.
Man.
Oh, it's
What's that
hilarious.
one? What's that one racist ass governor who said segregation down? He should. He's just a smile
That's
down on him.
That
damn,
would be
what's that
George
guy's
Wall.
name?
That wasn't
George
George Wallace.
Wallace. Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Wallace
Oh, I should have put a
Conway.
halo on him.
Put a halo on him.
Said I can
Smile.
help.
I can help.
You need a
Oh my
medic?
god.
Wow.
Oh my god. I'm about
Bonanza.
to look at this. I'm about to look at this shit.
Man,
The car
I
right.
see. I already see
I,
it, man.
you saw it? Yeah. Go ahead and share it.
Oh my god.
No. Better yet, let them go. Let them go to the arts community tab and look at it if they're really interested. Get
No,
Oh
arts
my
no,
god.
reviews.
I see it. Like I'm looking at it on my cell phone.
Yeah, I do. That's a nice touch, man. Putting Snoopy on the gun. The name of the gun Snoopy.
I should put some eyes in the O's, huh? Like little eyes.
Hey, you should get. Hey,
So look out.
you should get the little bird Woodstock in a judge's robe because that judge didn't like.
Oh, the memes are gonna get crazy, right?
Yeah.
Ah,
You'll
the
throw the
ain't
little
shit.
white power sign.
Yeah.
Ah, the
What
ain't
was
shit.
what was the name? What was what was it that meme on Full Metal Jacket that was on the helmet?
Which one?
I was
Oh.
trying to remember what it was.
Was it the Sarge or the
No,
Private?
no, no. Well, the private. What I'm saying is during on the poster, the Full Metal Jacket on the helmet it had. I'm trying to remember what it was. That probably.
What was that? It was born to die, born to
Born to
kill, or
Die or
something
something
like
like
that.
that. Yeah.
Born to die.
Born to
You
kill.
should.
Born to
Born to
Kill.
kill.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what it
yeah.
was.
'Cause they were
Me
Marines.
so horny.
Hey,
Yeah.
don't stop
They
that
they
because
wore that out, didn't they?
Two Live Crew made an excellent
Said
cultural
big all
song about
about the
that.
snake.
Yep. Yeah. It was Born to Kill. Yep.
Born to
Yeah,
kill.
born to kill.
Sitting that-
That's you, Joker.
Man, it's
That's a
when you actually go to war, it's actually funny because there were so many of the Iraqi men trying to marry off to their daughters, and Middle Eastern women are not bad looking. I'm gonna tell you that much.
A word.
God,
They thick, ain't they? They about thick like shit, like sisters.
yeah.
Mhm.
Imagine a Hispanic woman with like green and blue eyes.
Oh, okay.
So
Alright.
that's pretty much the same thing. Like I was looking at these chicks and they're waving their shits and they're like, "Hi, how you doing?" And it
Yeah,
was
that's
funny
that would be Jalisco or Sinaloa.
yeah,
That's they got those light colored eyes over there.
Yeah,
yeah.
well, they were mixed. They killed off the Spanish killed off most of the indigenous, and so basically there's very few indigenous that's still left. Most of them are actually mestizos. They're actually
hmm
mixed with Europeans.
Yeah, like Guadalajara. What's the other one?
There's
Zacatecas.
what is it? The Spanish have wiped out like almost 30 million
Yeah,
indigenous man in the
quite a bit.
16th century. Yeah, so the Catholic Church had them. Okay, you had to restock these people. So they actually brought in
West
Spanish.
Africans.
No, well, West Africa, but Spaniards actually come in and actually You
Oh,
know,
try to
breed
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 some
them back. Yeah, that's so
right.
basically most of your indigenous are gone.
God damn.
You have to get
We
you have to
killed
go
off
goddamn
through
too
a
like
many of
whole
these
Central America.
motherfuckers. We got to
a
breed them
whole
back. The
we
Lord
need a
said
whole
to
race
do
of
it.
we need a whole
Yeah.
race of Pookies.
But don't
Just
forget they
just
invited like Italians and
Oh
yeah,
shit.
Germans, and
Hmm.
that's why they look all different over there.
yeah, it's funny.
Even
But
Japanese, I've read. I'm like, Japanese? Yeah,
What? What?
Japanese. They brought
What?
in Japanese part of that whole breeding process.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Filipinos. Yeah, they brought in a whole bunch of people.
And
it's
they
the
got homes, and well, not homes, but structures and building structures
Hmm.
for those, that's Japanese, Arab.
Hmm.
They had the whole hookup, man.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow. Mexico is
but the
probably the most mixed out of all the
Other than
Latin
Brazil.
American persuasions. Yeah, Brazil is your basic mulatto, mestizo. Well, they're all basic. I mean, it's basic because remember the Portuguese were kind of selfish.
Hmm.
They were
Okay.
they were screwing everybody,
Yeah. Okay.
mm,
right? Whereas the Spaniards in Mexico was like, here, take them, shit,
Hmm.
you know. And that's why you got a lot of you see at BGS. There's a lot of Mexicans that look like they could be from India, or a
Yeah.
lot of them look like Japanese or
Yeah.
hella white.
Yeah. Because because that's the difference. The black men were allowed to actually mate with whoever would take them, whereas in America
Yeah,
they weren't.
yeah, man. It's amazing, when you do the little traveling. It's like, damn, you
oh, man.
like.
I want to go to Wisconsin and shake Cal Rittenhouse hand.
That's all
Well,
you
you
gotta
got to
do
get
is.
past the guns first, and a lot of
Hmm.
people holding guns right now.
Well, he's gonna be on a tour. He's gonna be doing all kinds of shit.
I'll be
Didn't he just
signing bullets
graduate?
and
Hmm.
signing bullets and everything.
Yep. He's going to get the whole Zimmerman
Hmm.
heave ho.
Oh man, he got didn't he, when he on Fox tonight?
Was he?
I think
I don't know.
so.
Uh,
Okay.
he's going to clear at
Oh, he
least
was on
40
some
million
show
before the
tonight.
year's done. Watch.
It had to be Fox because they would be the first one in line to get that
You
dude.
know, Cal Rittenhouse, do you think that you were an American hero? I did what any red-blooded American did, and I took down the sights and I looked at the bogey. That's what you call them in the army. The bogey, and I used all my tactical training that I got extensively from Special Forces Call of Duty Edition, and
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah, the thing is he gonna keep his nose clean until he gets older.
nah, he gonna get some cocaine.
White powder. No, I'm joking.
White powder. Yeah, shit.
Shoot.
Nah, they
I
gonna make
mean,
him put some type of
he
some type of
cash in on this
symbolic
stuff, man.
gesture,
Well, he's
and
going to.
he
He
gonna
should.
peter out. He gonna make some loot for the next 5 years. He gonna be the smoking thing on the concept. Somebody gonna write a book. He might write a book. He's gonna do well.
He might be
I can
one of
see
the
him.
youngest what do you call it? Office holder, office. What do you call it? Holding, the youngest man to hold office.
Hold office. Yeah, he's gonna running for the city council at 25. Huh?
Especially, I mean, that's in Happy Day. He's in where is it? In where Happy Days was based, right? So he
Mhm.
gonna run.
He,
He gonna be the new Richie Cunningham.
he might. Yeah, in
Wow.
Wisconsin, he's probably gonna be a hero.
All American.
All American, the
Yeah.
heartland, sir.
Oh man, he's like, I'm gonna lose if I keep this up.
He
I'm
haul
gonna lose my
country.
I'm gonna lose my virginity by 40.
What the hell?
He up there
the
with them
the new
hillbillies
Marlboro
going.
man. Yeah, it's gonna
Yep.
be pretty amazing. I'm, just out of interest. I know people saying y'all hating on him by talking about him. No, we have a right to talk about what we see.
Yeah.
Shit,
Yeah. Some
I hate when
bullshit.
people say that.
You say
Uh.
what you see, and thing is, they don't like to acknowledge that the way that you speaking on what you see is something that makes them, I call it
Uncomfortable.
snooze kicking. You
If
fuck
we,
up their illusion with the way that you describe things, but
yeah,
and then they say,
if we
"Oh,
could,
well, you
if we
made
could
this
talk
up."
about a
No, I'm just
referee.
describing reality.
Yeah, if we could talk about a referee call with a bullshit call,
Hmm.
Can you imagine that, man? That's a bullshit call, man. What's that gonna do anything? How's that gonna help Black America?
Like
I'm like, come on.
I'm just still tickled how Troy and
Sound
his
like a woman,
conservative.
man.
Yeah.
Sound like a lady.
Hold on,
I'm
is
looking
that
at.
him? Is
Like
that
her
That's
him?
name is
him.
Shirley.
Oh
That's
Lord,
him.
oh Lord,
That's
Shirley
him.
in a
that
uniform.
that young
Shirley
man
Mae.
got bigger. That young man got bigger titties than his mama.
Hold
That's
on, hold on. That is Model
That's
American.
That's Kyle. Yeah, that's him.
that's
Yeah,
Kyle.
fake out his
Look
mama.
at imagine if Kyle had to back me up on a call. That motherfucker ain't coming out his car. I'd be like, come on, help me, Kyle. I'm trying to
Hey,
get him. Kyle's in the
hey,
car
wait,
like,
wait.
mm-mm,
Hey,
mm-mm.
Charles, imagine on a call, right? You call for backup and they ready to back. All we have is Kyle.
Yeah, that's Cooter's new
I'm
partner
good.
from Dukes
I'm
of
good.
Hazzard.
I'll be like, I'm good. Dip, 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 dip,
Every
dip, dip,
damn
boys.
dude.
Scooter on the way.
Dip, 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 dip.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cooter.
he
Scooter.
looks like a very effeminate Smokey the Bear. God damn.
I bet that handshake is real soft. Like, hey man.
Oh,
Really?
Hey.
only you can prevent forest fires.
Look at that.
Pop Marlin.
I bet you he never learned how to pee standing up.
Now,
That man is
if that motherfucker goes to law enforcement, he's going to be dangerous.
that motherfucker donut game is already on point.
Oh
Hold on,
yeah,
hold on,
man.
Thou are not shit, Kev.
hold on.
Thou are not shit.
He can name all
Donut
of them
game.
too. He can name them all.
He probably be like, he probably look at me and be like, it's funny when I go to, they be like, well, one day, every time I go on a trip, it's either two things people think I am: a UFC fighter or like, wow, you're a cop from where? Baltimore. Oh shit, we love you guys. I'll fight real crime. God
Yo,
damn.
let me ask you this, Charles. With the advent of how video games are not video games no more, but actually more simulations,
Hmm.
and the more popular simulation is, you know, what I'm saying, that run and gun them shit. Um, would you say that they've now become detrimental? I'm a former gamer, and before everybody got into it with, like that shit, you know what I'm saying, running with the trying to shoot and
Running,
kill everything.
running and
Uh,
gunning.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like how what percentage do you think that would actually influence, say, youngsters as young as maybe as his age, maybe 15 on up until like maybe 21? Because it's now a
That's the
culture to partake in that shit. And
that's the
again, like I
point.
said, they're actually simulations. The
That's the
specs that
point
they
of the game.
use,
That's
they
the
get
point
it
of the game.
from actual pros.
That's the point of the game. Is basically when you play video games, it's supposed to be a simulation. Why? Because it's recruitment. The United
Right.
States Army actually put money into a video game one time strictly for recruitment. And the problem is with him is that reality got really blurred, if you will. So he thought it was gonna be just like Call of Duty. You know, you get your cam pack, you get your med kit, and he
Yeah.
did his little Barrett badge ass, having ass, thought he was gonna get all cool points and shit. See, everybody got to play until you get hit or shot at.
Yeah.
And instead of actually knowing how to defend yourself, and actually knowing when to stay with your group and when it's safe to do so, this guy just automatically, as soon as something bad happens, oh, I'm going to shoot him. And he was lucky that he actually hit his target.
Mm.
And so you got to remember when you're in those more wooded states, like in Wisconsin and Wyoming and all that shit, it's nothing to go out to somebody's backyard and shoot a couple of calves because, especially if you're on a farm or you have a big plot of land, you're not going to hit anything.
Right.
So you're getting a lot of these guys who couldn't make the military, who have these cop dreams. Hey, put a picture of Tubby Tubby back up there again. One Tubby Tubby. Two Tubby Tubby.
Chubby, chubby.
See,
You ain't
see,
shit, nigga.
see, imagine that silly motherfucker in the police academy. See, when I was in the academy, we had a black former SWAT sniper in his 40s who could still bench press over 400 pounds. and still run 5 miles before he starts to sweat. Imagine this motherfucker trying to go through an academy, and of course he's gonna go to one of them states where the academy is, how can I say it in my professional term, lacking. Does that look like somebody you can fucking get to save your life?
I mean, okay, but okay, let's be objective.
I mean, he can hug you.
Let's say that he does the work, right? Do you think he's not likely to do the work if he has the passion that he does have for the shit?
What he's gonna do is he doesn't have. See, this is the problem with white people. Period. They have no empathy of anybody else's plight because ethnocentristic. They think their culture is the best in the culture, the only culture that matters. So they're not gonna have empathy. Where you might get pulled over by a black cop and they'll be like, "Oh man, your license suspended. It's been suspended since 2 days ago. Oh man, all right, it's probably child support or some stupid shit, or maybe you didn't pay a ticket. All right, go look it up. They'll give you the benefit of the doubt. A guy like Kyle would not give you the benefit of the doubt because he's very emotional. As you can see, what happened with the shooting. He didn't know what to do. He'll panic. And the scary part about it is that you're giving this guy in places where, unless he's in a metropolitan area, he's probably going to be by himself majority of the time.
Right, and bored as shit.
Bored as shit. And as soon as somebody comes speeding, oh my God, we got a car chase down.
We got action. Bingo. We got action.
But if you put him in a city,
Golly.
well, if you put him in a city, he'll be scared shitless.
Yeah, so you got to stay with Potsy and Al and
it's like,
Stefan.
yeah, look when he went out there. He had his whole boys out there. As soon as shit got hot and heavy, all his boys left him.
That is a trip, ain't it? I still don't know what these guys look like.
You never will. By the power of whiteness, you never will.
That's
They
true.
did. They did leave him by himself, man. That's crazy.
Man, look at this picture right here. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he was like, man, people always tell me that me and my mother look like twins. Like,
You do.
That's
Yeah,
terrible, man.
they
Girls
probably have
night
the
out.
same. They probably have the same bra size.
remember it's Pat?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what? That's his. I'm gonna get bitches tonight uniform. Like, I bet you, and there's still black women who would chase this nigga down.
God
Remember
damn.
that. There are still black women who will fuck Calvert Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
Makes
Man,
you think. Makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
yeah, it sure
Yeah.
does. But
Yeah. I think Diamond and Silk, they'll take care of him.
was
He
it
like
down?
Hey, on that
American.
note, I'm finna mash out, man. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah, yeah, and
Uh,
look,
All right.
and listen up. I have some shit I got to do tomorrow, so listen up, guys. Let's get some final statements in. I'll get my final statements, and that'll be it. But thanks for coming by, Rogish. Definitely.
my final statement is Oogie Boogie, niggas. Oogie Boogie.
All
Yeah.
right, all right.
Final
Off.
statement is one day we're gonna have to get something together where a whole bunch of brothers on the panel just talk about family and being fathers.
Oh, damn, definitely, man, definitely. I
Oh,
mean,
not in
Pack the
this.
house.
Oh, what do you mean being fathers in the community time?
Yeah, 'cause nobody talks about it enough to where it's a possibility. So we should
yeah,
have that conversation.
definitely. You still got my email, right?
Yes, sir. I got you.
All right, we'll get together on that though. For real, for real.
All right. Thanks for having me up, fam.
All right, all right.
Peace.
Shoot, no problem. Just uh, always welcome. What up, Snake Man? Anything final you like to add before I close this out?
Nah, no, actually not. Like Manosphere stays a Manosphere. Keep fighting. Have a good night.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for coming up, man. And as always, excuse me, I'll be coming back tomorrow night for another good one. But let me read Sun is Hot Raw. Thank you for the super chat and your support as always. I said, hey Charles, don't sleep on these fat dudes. Daniel Cormier don't look like a superhero, but I'll take him with me in any dark alley. Yeah, Daniel Cormier is very tough, very gifted athletically. I mean, despite how some people may feel about his boisterous personality, yeah, you're definitely correct about that one. But yeah, man. Thanks for the super chat. But yeah, black men. Yeah, we're becoming a problem for the status quo. When I say maybe women aren't the problem at all, after all, I meant that sarcastically. If it triggered some people, so what? I mean, it is what it is, and that just tells me that you know that what we're doing around here works. What up, Chaos Rain? What's going on? Um, yeah, but we're about to put another one to an end, and I'm just saying, black men, just continue to be the problem. Be the problem because I fully believe that we are the solution, and that's not the best closing statement that I've ever had. But hey, you know what? Shit, I'm betting like 1,000 anyway on these. But listen up, people. A lot of the infighting that's natural. That's natural. Infighting is going to happen. We are not perfect per se. When we are a people of different viewpoints and different personalities, that's going to clash sometimes. Sometimes it's disappointing to look at, but you got to let things play out. And that is all that I am going to say. Thank you once again for joining me, and come back tomorrow night for another live. Long live the habitual line steppers. In Kev, we trust. See you guys again sometime. Till the next episode. Peace.